This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Hey guys, welcome into the Wisconsin Live Desk. It's Haley joining you here at 12:30. I will be with you for the next 2 hours. Then from 2:30 to 3:30, our very own Kim Murphy will join you here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. We do have a lot to get to these next couple of hours. I want to start by taking a quick live look outside here in downtown Milwaukee, where it is, 37 degrees. Looks like there's a little bit of wind. As you can see, that flag in the background definitely moving around, and the camera itself shaking a little bit left to right. That's how you know that it's almost winter time. It's almost Christmas time. In the background right there, FOX6 Forum, which if you were to go to the Deer District right now, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas as well. They have their Christmas tree up, and I'm actually so excited because we're joined today on the Wisconsin Live Desk with the Milwaukee family that donated that Christmas tree. Kate Schmidt Thabit, remind me how to say it. Did I mess it up? We got it. And her husband is with us as well. We are so excited to chat with you guys. I mean, for starters, how did this happen? How did you guys say, we have a tree, maybe we should look at donating it?
Jed's got this one down.
Good morning, everybody. Yeah, so we were thinking about a long-term project for the tree, as we're gonna have it removed and replaced with a different tree. But in talking with some friends and family at work, they basically told me, like, hey, you should consider donating your tree to the city of Milwaukee to use it as this year's Christmas tree. So I took it upon myself and made a phone call back in July, and I made a call to the city to see if they're interested in taking it. And same day, very, very surprising, the city of Milwaukee came out to my house to look at and inspect the tree to see if it's a candidate. So Chris from DPW came out, looked at the tree, thought it was a great candidate, and then he let me know in a couple months he's going to hear back from me, and we'll see if we were selected or not. So fast forward now, it's October, and I get a voicemail from him saying that if I'm still willing to donate the tree, that they'll be willing to take it. So and that's how it came about, really. It was very unique, very surprising to us, because our tree was 38 feet compared to last year's 64 or 68 feet, so about half the size. But nonetheless, it was selected, and we were very happy.
Yeah, it's funny when you put it in perspective, comparing it to last year's tree, because your tree still looks ginormous at 38 feet. I mean, what was that moment like when you got the phone call knowing, okay, we have been selected, it's going to be our tree?
I mean, I'll be honest with you, like I just surprised. Like when I got the phone call, I was like, wow, our tree is going to be in front of the FOX6 Forum for Christmas 2025, and being outside of that venue is it's a very big deal for my wife and I, because that's where we initially met for our first date, and that's where we got married as well, in the Deer District. So it means a lot for us to have that tree now outside of the FOX6 Forum for this year's Christmas.
Yeah, absolutely. So we were there the morning that it was getting cut down from in front of your house and taken to FOX6. We actually have some clips of that. I've got to ask you though, I was watching this thinking, I'm a little nervous. If something went wrong, my house is right there. How are you guys feeling watching the removal process here?
Oh, I think it was just so surreal, the whole thing. Like, I still feel like it didn't happen. That thought didn't cross my mind, because we were like so excited about it. I think the excitement took over, and usually I'd be an anxious girly about it, but I think we were just in awe. I mean, I don't know about you, Amjad, but it was crazy. And seeing it floating like a Harry Potter tree, like,
yes.
I had never thought about how you chop down trees. I really hadn't. And then Amjad was telling me about the crane and stuff beforehand, and that was pretty wild.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I guess
a lot of moving pieces that day. It was super, super interesting.
Yeah, I was like, at least these are like the experts. Like, if there's anyone to remove the tree, these are the guys to trust, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so I gotta ask, you guys were already hinting at it a little bit, but I know the FOX6 Forum was the venue for your first date. Talk about going to a Bucks game and then your wedding at Deer District. Give us all the details.
Yes. So, gosh, our first date, we tried to figure out the date. I think, Jed, I don't remember what we exactly settled on, but it was after Thanksgiving in 2018, and it was a Wednesday. So I think it was the 28th or something. I went into this rabbit hole because I was talking to Dear
Mm.
District a little bit about this, but that was our first date. And then when we were looking at wedding venues, I'm actually a wedding planner. I own my company, Celebrate by Kate. So I was incredibly picky about where we were going to get married, and Amjad, being Amjad, was very cool, let's get married. I wanted to go to City Hall anyways. Like gather, it's called Gather at Deer District. He's like, cool, that works for me. It's owned by the Bucks. That's an extra bonus. So when all of this came together, the only word I can really describe it is like super serendipitous, because that has such a special place and meaning in our heart, that entertainment district. And so it's special, but it's been just insane, the connection to it. It can't be ignored, and it just makes it all the more better for our story.
Yeah, it feels like destiny that you two were the ones supposed to be selected for this Christmas tree. Also, as big Bucks fans, how did it feel to have Bango in your front yard that day?
Oh, that's Amjad.
It was super cool. I was not expecting Bango, but I was expecting Giannis, but it was super cool. We're huge Bucks fans. Been through the championship that we've gone through this year, and I've been a Bucks fan ever since been in Milwaukee. So super cool to have that be part of the ceremony for sure.
Yeah, I feel like the tree is almost as tall as Giannis, or I guess the other way around. Giannis is almost as tall as the tree. That guy, what is he, 7'2" or something crazy? This is a good Christmas tree size for him. We do actually have footage as well of the tree arriving at Fiserv. I gotta ask, how does this feel to now see it right there in front of Fiserv Forum, knowing it's gonna bring, I'm sure, a smile to so many people's faces, and it came from your yard?
I think the funny thing about it is that I haven't physically seen it yet. Amjad drove by it the other day, but I got a picture within, like, honestly, probably like 2 hours from our event manager, Ashley, at Gather. Okay, I'm keeping an eye on the tree for you. And I was like, this is Milwaukee. This is what I love. This is so special. But also the other piece of that too is just the fact that it gets to go from being this, let's be honest, kind of hazardous thing in our front yard,
Right.
to spreading all of that joy, spreading all of the sparkle to the city of Milwaukee, a city that has given us so much. It's hard to put into words.
Yeah, I feel like it really is a win-win situation, as you were kind of saying, where you got to move it from your house, which is probably for the best, and now everyone gets to enjoy it there at Fiserv. What do you hope people take away when they get to go see this 38-foot massive Christmas tree?
I hope we talked to David Caruso a little bit, who designs the tree, and he was talking about the theming for this year. And I think he hit the nail on the head with that. Community coming together, having a shared space, sharing joy with strangers, that kind of thing. We are Milwaukee, and I always joke small Milwaukee, because we just have this really cool vibe about the city, where you're never like more than 2-3 degrees away from knowing someone, it feels like. So I think that is really special, and that's the essence of the city. I don't know if you have anything else to add, but that's like where
I think you did a nice job by saying how it's going to bring the community together, and
Yeah.
it's going to be very, I would say, Christmassy and like holiday like. It's going to bring the community much closer together for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so before I let you two go, if somebody right now is watching this interview and they're thinking, I have a 38-foot tree in front of my house, would you recommend next year that they call up the city, they do this as well?
100%.
100%. 100%. It was a cool experience. Yeah.
This experience has been so crazy. Amjad's had colleagues from 10 years ago, like reaching out to him, colleagues also we used to share. It's funny, like getting all of that. And then also just the mayor was in our front yard. Bango was in our front yard. So we can't say it enough. And again, I still have not found the right way to really be like eloquently describe how insane and awesome this has been. So definitely do it. It's been like also like a fun 5 minutes of fame, if you will. It's just been unreal.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I have to say, you two are awesome. We found your interview that day with us so entertaining. I don't think the story could be even any more perfect for it being you guys with this Christmas tree. So thanks so much for joining us here on the Wisconsin Live Desk today.
Yeah, thanks for having
Thank you
us.
so much for your time. Absolutely.
Of course.
Have a good day.
All right, have a great rest of your Tuesday, you guys. How fun is that? I love that. There's just this Christmas tree that was 38 feet tall. Now it's out front of Fiserv Forum where they got married. The most perfect story. I'm so glad that it was them selected for that honor. And again, if you have a giant tree, maybe you can apply next year. Clearly, it's a somewhat fast process. Amjad said he got the phone call the same day. They showed up the same day he applied. So very cool there. Well, switching gears here, I do want to say that today is 11/11. It is Veterans Day. As you can see, I'm wearing the Fox Honor U.S. Vets shirt because this is, I think, the 5th year Fox has actually partnered with Make Camo Your Cause. It's a campaign that's done with U.S. vets to just really, raise awareness, not just to thank and honor our veterans as we should every day, especially this Veterans Day, but also to just raise awareness about veterans who are homeless. So I do just want to let you guys know that if you go to fox6now.com, there is a link on our homepage where you can donate money to the cause, where you can pick up some of the merch. I can tell you the shirt is very comfortable. We have a cup and a hat that we'll get to in just a little bit. We're also going to get to our very own Abril Preciado. She is working on a story today for Veterans Day, especially relevant as it talks about SNAP benefits as we continue to be in this government shutdown. If you missed it, the Senate did vote to pass the funding bill. It's now on its way to the House. So, of course, we'll continue to follow all of that here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. For now, though, we are going to just take a very quick break. And when we get back, we'll check in with our very own Abril. So stay with us. Thanks so much.
The Wisconsin Live Desk.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Wisconsin Live Desk this Tuesday afternoon. We're now looking at 12:43. I feel like I've missed you guys. I was gone yesterday, I was gone Friday, so I'm so excited to be back in the Wisconsin Live Desk studio and getting to chat with all of you. Again, I do just want to remind us all that it is Veterans Day, and for the 5th year with Fox, we are doing Make Camo Your Cause. So if you are heading out the door, maybe for lunch, or if you have dinner plans later today, if you're going anywhere really outside today, wear camouflage. We want to kind of start a conversation and have people go, hey, what are you wearing that for? So you can talk about U.S. veterans and really the mission of helping homeless veterans, because today in the United States, about 32,000 veterans experience homelessness, which is crazy to think about when you think of these men and these women who put it all on the line for us, who served our country and then who came home and don't have a home. And we know that there's so many of them who have their own struggles, nearly 76% experiencing alcohol, drug, or mental health issues. So it's certainly a cause that we want to raise some awareness for and also raise some funds for. So again, if you go to fox6now.com, you can donate money. A suggested easy donation, $11, because it is 11/11 today. Or if you want to go shopping, there's a whole link with some cool items. I know I'm wearing this shirt right here. Look at though, they've got a nice hat as well. I was talking about this little glass that they sent us, which I think these are so cute for like iced coffee, or they even have a water bottle that I would say looks like a Stanley. So lots of great ways to donate to such an important cause. And you know, if you're just looking for what you can do today on Veterans Day, that's a very easy way to help out, to raise awareness, and to help those veterans who are currently experiencing homelessness. Well, speaking of Veterans Day, I do actually want to go ahead and bring in our very own Abril Preciado. She is working on a Veterans Day story that's really relevant right now as we also talk about SNAP and the funding there. Abril, what have you been learning today?
Hey guys, so we're out here at Festival Foods here in West Allis, and let me just tell you guys, they're continuing a tradition that they've been following for 8 years now. Right now it may seem, actually no, I see like there's some activity picking up right here, but just a few minutes ago we did see this area just surrounded by a lot of our fellow vets, local vets actually, out here kind of like looking through the special items that they have right here in place for them. And this is once again just part of the Veterans Day event that they have here, where they're providing some items for free for them, just to show their appreciation and thank them. During our time that we've been out here, we've seen many veterans that we spoke to and that we've seen kind of picking up a lot of the items. We spoke to a couple of them too, and they tell us that this is something that kind of allows them to feel support and also feel that appreciation that, you know, someone is looking out for them, that local businesses are looking out for them. And yeah, they're really taking advantage of them. Once again, as explained, this is the 8th year that Festival Foods has been doing this, and I know it's just one of the many other locations and places here in our area that, you know, is providing this additional support and appreciation to our veterans. Once again, as you mentioned, the reason why it's very or why we're even here today also in the grocery store and, you know, shedding light on it is because, yes, you know, many families are being impacted right now with food insecurity, especially with SNAP program being you know, going through what it's going through right now. Many of them did mention to me that, you know, well, the ones that we spoke to tell me that they weren't directly affected. They do know others that have, and obviously being able to get a hold of, like, I'm so sorry, you could go through. Again, we're live, so we're at a grocery store, so there's people shopping too, so I'm trying to get out of the way. But yes, you know, as I explained, you know, this is something that is very helpful, especially during tough times like this, where, you know, grocery prices are up, and, you know, getting food on the table is definitely something that everyone is looking for, especially our local veterans as well. So this is definitely something that is very helpful during times like this. But yeah, right now, as mentioned, you know, this is taking place this whole day, and just within the last the last hour really that we've been here, we've seen like many of them come out here and doing some shopping, because obviously we need to get food on our table. So this is pretty much what we're seeing right now.
Yeah, absolutely, Abril. Obviously, we can see that the demand is certainly there. We saw them restocking some food while you were chatting with us. I know you talked about speaking with some veterans. I'm curious, have you been able to speak with anybody at Festival as to why this is important for them to do every year?
Yes, so I haven't been able to speak to them just yet. We're still news gathering and still trying to grab elements for our story, but I know something that they did mention to us is that it is very important to them. They want to make sure that they honor veterans and as well as communities. And this is not the only thing that they do. From what we're told is that that Festival Foods also does other promotions to kind of give back to veterans. One thing that we learned is that they also provide coffee on Fridays for them for free, coffee and donuts, and that's something that many of the veterans that we spoke to today actually mentioned. They're like, yeah, you know, it feels really nice to know that a place, you know, really supports us and, you know, shows that appreciation, especially, you know, with everything going on. So it really goes a long way. It's like how they say, you know, spread kindness, and, you know, that kind of just adds that, you know, especially, like, you know, you never know what people are going through, especially during times like this where, you know, the food insecurity, and then, you know, the ongoing situation right now with SNAP and that uncertainty as well. And, you know, putting all these things here, providing that support obviously goes a long way, especially, you know, when people are going through difficult times. So I can definitely say that based on what I saw, it's something that means so much for them. We saw many smiles on people's faces out here for the most part, and many people excited. And obviously, as you can see, you know, there's people, you know, taking advantage of it right now. I see a man grabbing one of the pizzas that they have here, looking through the little, what are they called? Little fridges? Little...
Yeah, the little
refrigerators.
freezers.
The little freezers, there we go. I couldn't think about the name. I was thinking about it in Spanish. But yes, the freezers. And yeah, you know, just taking advantage, filling up their carts. And so yes, that's pretty much what we're seeing right now. Once again, we're still news gathering, so we're trying to get more information, but you will definitely hear from a couple of the veterans that we spoke to on camera that were so gracious to share with us their story and kind of open up to us a little bit more about their experience and what this means to them as well. And, you know, you'll hear more about it later on. But once again, you know, we're just trying to news gather. Look, as you can see, the traffic picked up. You just saw it like a couple of minutes ago.
That's
it was
right.
a little bit like slow, but now look, it quickly picks up. Yeah.
No,
So a lot of people really taking advantage of it, which goes to show.
Yeah, it's great to see so many veterans out and about participating in this really active, you know, gratitude towards them. Abril, is there a time that we need to make it to Festival Foods by?
You interviewed my drumline.
Oh, it sounds like Abril might be busy with us right now. She's
Oh, really?
she's
I'm so
chit-chatting
sorry.
right now.
Yeah, that's where we met then.
Oh, nice to meet you. Yes. Again, we're live once again. I'm talking to a viewer. Yes, I am live. Yes. No, it's okay. It's okay. Yes.
Aw,
Yes.
love this shout out for
No,
Abril
of course.
right
Thank
now.
you so
We'll
much.
have to edit.
Yes. He says he loves FOX6. Yes. Thank you so much.
That's
Thank you
so
for your
sweet.
service. Yes.
Abril, if you can still
But
hear
yes, as
us
you can
after
see,
that
you know.
nice shout out, I'm just curious, any veterans who are watching right now, how long does this go till today? How long do they have to make it out to festival?
Wait, what was that? I'm so sorry. Well,
Yeah, no, how long are they giving away the food? Is there a time that the veterans need to make it by if they want to participate and go shopping here?
Oh, at least from what I know, it's taking place all day, or at least while these food supplies last. So, but yes, but I'll definitely get more confirmation. But to my understanding is that it's a whole day thing.
All right, awesome. Well, this has just been a lot of fun.
Yes.
A little shout out for Abril. They called you a rock star there. Couldn't agree more. Thanks so much
Yes.
for joining us here on the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Thank you, guys.
I love that. I love the opportunity to go out and, you know, get some food, especially right now. If you are somebody who's struggling to put food on the table, if you are a SNAP recipient who's still waiting on funding, or you've just been hit hard by the government shutdown, or really just the times right now. We know it's hard to make ends meet right now. So if you're a veteran, go out to Festival. Get some of those yummy food items. I saw pizza, potatoes. It looked like they had some bread. Lots of good options for you there. It does sound like you can do it all day or until supplies run out. So I would go earlier rather than later. But of course, make sure and tune in later today to Fox Local for Abril's full story. That was a lot of fun, Delaney. Didn't you think?
It was.
I love the live shout out to Abril during the interview. She's a busy woman.
I know, she was really busy.
Yeah, she really was. But we always
Yeah.
love meeting a good Fox 6 fan.
Right? Always fun.
Hopefully they also tune into the Wisconsin Live Desk,
I hope they do.
because it's the place to be.
Right?
It is. Can you do me a favor? Can you send us to break?
I can. We'll be back after this short break.
Thanks, Delaney. Hey guys, welcome back to the Wisconsin Live Desk. We still have got a lot coming up for you this next hour and a half. At 1:30, we're going to talk with the zoo about their new black rhinos. 1:45, we're going to get all of the themes for this upcoming week of Milwaukee Admirals game. We're going to be joined again by their president, John Greenberg. At some point, I think Jason Calvi is even joining us. Of course, we'll have question of the day. We've got so much to get to until 2:30, because then at 2:30, Kim Murphy's taken over, and she's got a lot to bring you as well. Of course, as always, we've been monitoring the feeds. The feed I was just about to take us to appears to have frozen. Not the best luck. I'll show it to you really quickly. Maybe it will unfreeze on air. This is a Veterans Day parade happening right now out of Mesa, Arizona, as they honor those who have served. You see a big flag. There we go. It unfroze for us. But look at the crowd, really excited to honor and thank all of those men and women who have served our country. Again, this is coming out of Mesa, Arizona. On this Veterans Day, this Tuesday, 11/11. So yeah, that's kind of one thing we found here on the feeds. Of course, we'll keep looking as well. Delaney, should we let them in on like a pretty exciting announcement?
Let's do it.
Do you know what I'm gonna say?
Are we going to talk about our X account? Or no? I thought that was the announcement.
You're so right. You guys, we officially have an X account, so give us a follow. We made it this morning. It's WIS Live Desk. Give us a follow. We're gonna start posting lots of videos and photos of the guests that are gonna come on here. We'll tease like what we're gonna have planned, because Delaney and I have been hard at work booking all sorts of guests, because we want to make this the most exciting live and local, really live, really local show that we can. And yeah, I was saying that maybe if you follow us today, tomorrow, I think we're going to do a behind-the-scenes tour of the Wisconsin Live Desk studio.
I think that would be fun.
Right? Because we talk about the closet and the sauna, we joke, but I think it'd be fun for you guys to see kind of how the show works and like where I look and how I see Delaney and all those kind of fun ins and outs.
Yeah, behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes. No, I was going to say our new schedule of Wisconsin Live Desk.
Oh, yeah.
Should we talk about it?
Yeah, we can talk about it.
Okay, we're really excited, you guys. You're going to get so much Delaney and Haley time on the Wisconsin Live Desk. It was supposed to be starting yesterday, but then I couldn't make it into work. So starting today, you can find me and Delaney, because I bring you in so much, doing the first 2 hours of the Wisconsin Live Desk every day. So I know I was hopping on here doing 1:30 to 2:30 Monday through Friday. Now it's 12:30 to 2:30, which I hope is good news. I hope no one watching is like, oh gosh, that's not what I wanted to hear.
I think it's good news.
Thanks, Delaney. I appreciate that. We are working really hard together to fill the time, to make it really fun. So also, reach out to us if you have guests. Like if you want us to bring somebody on, let us know. We'll try and get them here. Because it's nice. We really can talk to them for as long as we want, which is always really helpful and nice.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
always fun to get the extended interview.
Right? I
Yeah.
think so. Well, that was the exciting news. Now should we talk about the not so exciting news?
Let's do it.
All right, let's talk about the Green Bay Packers, who unfortunately lost during Monday Night Football. Never the outcome that you want to hear the day after a game. And honestly, this was a low-scoring game from both teams. It went into the half 0-0. And then I went into the fourth quarter 3-0. So, I mean, I guess great showing defensively from both teams, but on the offense side of things, yeah, both teams really couldn't get it going. The Eagles did win 10-7. I feel like there was so much excitement for this game. It was at Lambeau. You're playing, you know, the current Super Bowl champs. So a little bit of a letdown for the Packers, especially because now they're third in the NFC North because both the Lions and the Bears did get wins this past week. So yeah, now they're 5-3-1. Of course, that one is the tie with the Dallas Cowboys earlier this season. So not a ton of good news for Packers fans, the green and the gold. But, Delaney, that's okay, because you know what? We can just think ahead. We can think to the next game. You know, you got to always just move on if you have a bad week to the next game, which you can watch right here on Fox 6. On Sunday, we'll be taking on the New York Giants. It is a noon kickoff game. It's an away game for the green and gold. I'm trying to think how the Giants are doing this year. I don't think they're that great, because that's who they're fourth in the NFC East. Their record, I think it's like a lot of losses, but I don't want to say that because I also thought we were there. It's making me do math, Delaney. 2-8. That's bad. That's bad. So hopefully this is good for the Packers fans. I never want to say that anymore because I also really thought the Packers were going to take it pretty easily against the Carolina Panthers. That did not happen. But hopefully the New York Giants, Delaney, they've got it on Sunday and we can move on from the loss last night.
Right.
Do you know what I really felt bad about?
No.
So if you remember, we had Brady Keiss in the Wisconsin Live Desk studio. He is a party animal that's from which is Banana Ball League, if you like the Savannah Bananas. And he's from right here in Milwaukee, and we talked about how his different sports teams he roots for. He's a huge Packers fan. He was going to that game with other party animal, like, teammates who are also Packers fans who flew in because he's the only one from Wisconsin. I'm like, that's the game I saw? Like, oh.
Oh, that is a bummer.
It's just a bummer because, like, even if your team loses, as long as you have, like, highlights from the game, it's like, oh, that's okay. I can't imagine going into half with a 0-0 score.
I know.
So I felt
That's
bad.
definitely not the most fun game to go to.
No,
but
it's not.
the energy was probably still fun at Lambeau.
I feel like it's always fun.
Yeah.
Brady did post some videos on his Instagram story at the beginning. But there were some fun fireworks and all that, so it did look good.
Oh, good.
For Monday Night Football.
But yeah, definitely not the most fun game to bring your friends to.
Not the most fun game to bring your friends to, but that's okay. Do you know what was a good week?
Fantasy
Football. I sent Delaney the picture this morning. I did win yet again this week. I think this is my third week in a row. First place lost. This is so good. I'm within one game of first place now, so I just need her to lose again and me to win again, and then we'll flip-flop. But I told Delaney, I just want to make Tim Van Voren proud because, you know, we get to, that's our sports director, we get to usually chat with him every week when he goes to the Packers open practice. And lately he's been really into my fantasy league, so I just wanted him to know we got the win.
I know, that's exciting.
It is exciting.
Back to a winning streak, which
yeah,
is always good.
Always good. We love a 3-game winning streak. I also failed to talk about, I'm also in a picks league, which is totally different than fantasy. You just pick who you think is going to win each game. I'm in first place.
Really?
Delaney, what if I win both of these?
That would be really exciting.
Then we have to do a pizza and ice cream party.
Definitely.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
We have to do something extra.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. All right, cool. I think we're going to talk Coach for Kids, take a little break, and then Delaney will question of the day. Be ready?
Yes.
Okay, which is good because I hinted at it right then when I said ice cream. See what I did there, Delaney?
I do.
Thank you. Thank you. I actually really quickly want to get another downtown shot. There we go. Here in Milwaukee as we talk about how it is cold outside right now. It is 39 degrees. We're talking 1 in the afternoon, which actually probably feels so much warmer than what it was this morning. I definitely had to bundle up in the tights, in the Ugg boots, in a sweater, in a winter coat because it is that time of year. And I'm the lucky one who has, you know, a winter coat that I just grab and don't even think about out of my closet. But we know that's not the case for everybody in our community, and that's why we are back with our 41st edition of FOX6 Coats for Kids. So we have a very special opportunity to donate tomorrow at 3 different Steinhoffels locations. We have them right there on your screen. You can head to Menominee Falls from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. to Waukesha. These are all the Steinhoffels locations from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. or Oak Creek from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. What's really nice about these drop-off sites, they are a drive-through, so you do not have to get out of your car. Somebody else will come and grab the coats from you. Remember, if you're going to donate a coat, we do ask that they are either new or they are gently loved, meaning if you are going to donate one that's been used before, just make sure that that zipper is working, make sure the pockets don't have any holes, make sure that you would want your child to wear it, and make sure it's also a winter coat. I know sometimes you might think, oh, this sweatshirt is nice, but a sweatshirt's just simply, it's not enough for the kids when they are waiting at a bus stop. So we do want to make sure that we are collecting coats that we can actually give to the kids. And you can also donate some winter gear and accessories. We're taking, these do have to be new, new gloves, new scarves, and new hats, which are all genuinely necessities in a Wisconsin winter. You leave without your gloves and you immediately regret it. So we want to make sure that the kids are all bundled up when they're waiting to go to school, because then they pay attention better in classes. They go to school with that confidence that we want them to have. And Delaney, this is really cool, because if you have 4 coats that you donate tomorrow at one of these 3 locations at the drive-thru, do you know what you get?
Disney on Ice tickets, and then is it the Monster Jam or truck thing?
You nailed it.
Yeah.
So you will have your choice between either getting 2 tickets to Disney on Ice or 2 tickets to Monster Jam. I recommend Disney on Ice. But I love that, you know, it's a good lesson. Maybe you have kids that you want to bring with you and say, like, sometimes when you give, you can also get something back. So it's just nice to see that, yeah, 4 coats, you can get 2 tickets. You said you would do Disney on Ice as well?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you gone to Disney on Ice?
I have not.
Okay. I'm embarrassed to say that I never went as a child. I've only gone as an adult, which I think is probably bad. I think I saw my first one at 18. But I've actually gotten to do some stories as a reporter, as a news anchor with Disney on Ice skaters. They are so good. Like, I think that if you go, if your kids love Disney, they're obviously going to be so happy. There's like Anna and Elsa in front of them and Mickey. But if you just love like good athleticism, you will also be entertained. They are doing some seriously cool tricks.
I believe it.
Yeah, there was this show that I went to last year when I still lived in Greenville, and they had a ramp. So skaters would skate with all their like strength, and they would go up it, like as if it was rollerblades, but you're landing on an ice skate.
That's so impressive.
Yeah, it was really cool. They
Yeah.
also were the best because they took my phone and like got me really good footage for the story.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so just a quick reminder for those of you who are going out tomorrow that start thinking, if you have 4 coats, which one you're gonna want. I also think Monster Jam, if you have kids that like trucks and cars and like some of those stunts, would also be a great option. Personally, I feel like my anxiety would be a little high watching monster trucks doing things like that.
Yeah.
My brother Logan would love it.
Mhm.
So
I think it could be fun.
Yeah.
But I'd rather do Disney on Ice.
Yeah. You know what, Delaney, write this down. We need to get a Disney on Ice guest on Wisconsin Live.
We do.
Yes, we'll work on that because I know they're obviously coming to Milwaukee at some point. So we'll work on getting a guest here so we can chat all things Disney on Ice. And you know what? Maybe we'll get Monster Jam for you guys too. We don't want to exclude Monster Jam.
The Monster Jam stuff is still cool.
So cool. I'm going to pull up that graphic one more time just in case you need it to see the different drive-through locations. I also just want to remind you that you can give money as well. So I always say this. I live in a pretty small apartment. I don't have extra storage. So if I'm not using something, I have already gotten rid of it. I don't have any extra coats lying around my apartment to donate, but I still want to help. And I can do that by heading to fox6now.com. Right on our homepage, you will see the option to donate to our drive with Operation Warm, which for every $25 that we donate, we can buy a brand new coat for these kids. that actually has a retail value of $61. So it's an amazing deal. So if you want to buy 1 coat or 2 coats or maybe 4 coats, it's a really easy way to just donate the money, and then Operation Warm will work with us to get those coats as well. So whether you have items that you can donate or you just want to give money, this is a great way to give back to our community and to help those kiddos, because they grow so fast at that age. So a winter coat that might have worked for them so well last season might not even fit them this year. So we want to make sure that as they grow, we continue to provide them those coats, because it gets cold and it gets cold fast. And I know that I am very grateful for the winter coat that I have. So very proud to work for Fox 6 again on our 41st year that we're doing the Fox 6 Coats for Kids Drive. Okay, we're going to take another break here on the Wisconsin Live Desk, and when we come back, we're talking National Sundae Day, not the day of the week, the ice cream desserts. Stay tuned. We'll have a round of true or false coming up next.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Wisconsin Live Desk. It is 1:12 this Tuesday afternoon. If you're just joining us and you're wondering the shirt, it is Veterans Day. Fox is so proud for the 5th year to participate again and to participate in the Make Camo Your Cause campaign with Honor U.S. Vets. So if you go to our website right now, you can donate money. It's to help veterans who are experiencing homelessness. I believe the statistic was around 33,000 veterans in our country right now are homeless, which I said, it's just kind of the unimaginable that these men and these women served our country, and when they came back, they didn't have a place to go. So this is a great organization that helps them get back on their feet, especially those who might be going through other struggles, whether that be with their mental health or with drugs or with alcohol. So you can donate monetarily on our website today, or they do have some fun merchandise items that you can get. So I'm wearing the shirt here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. I showed off we've got a hat and a glass, and so all sorts of items there. If you're just looking for an easy way to give back this Veterans Day, that's one. Just head to fox6now.com. If you scroll down, it's one of our stories. You click on it and it has the link whether you want to donate money or head to that store with Honor U.S. Vets. So yeah, happy Veterans Day, as we, again, it's just a day to thank all of those who have served our country. And honestly, it's a good reminder that it's nice to do it today, but we should really be doing it all year round. So I loved hearing when Abril joined us here on the Wisconsin Live Desk a little bit ago. Festival Foods is giving out some free grocery items to veterans today, which is a great time to do so, as so many struggle with food insecurity with the government shutdown. But she also mentioned that every Friday they have free coffee and donuts for U.S. veterans. And I just thought that was a great reminder that we can help out our veterans and just say thank you year-round, but especially today on Veterans Day. I do want to bring in our very own producer, Delaney, because it's time for question of the day, which is National Sundae Day. So what is your favorite ice cream sundae topping?
I like hot fudge.
Oh.
I feel like I always go for a turtle sundae.
Does that have what's on a turtle sundae?
Hot fudge, caramel, and then is it pecans?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's good.
That's good. Oh, I love hot fudge. I do love a caramel. I love it when the hot fudge is actually hot. Like, I don't want chocolate syrup.
No,
I want it to be like,
it has to be like actually hot.
yeah, like
Yeah.
I will give it to McDonald's. Like, if you go to a hot fudge sundae, like, that is a hot fudge sundae.
Yeah,
I
I agree.
think my favorite ice cream sundae topping would be Oreo crumbles or gummy bears.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I was a bridesmaid at a wedding this past weekend, and at like 9 p.m. they had an ice cream sundae bar open, and that's what I grabbed.
That's such a fun idea.
Yeah, it was. Well, the problem is that I was having a great time on the dance floor, and so I had to get off the dance floor to get my ice cream sundae, so I only ate a few bites of it 'cause I was like, oh, that's a good song, and I went back.
It happens.
You know, listen,
Yeah.
if you need a life of the party, call up me and my friends. My friend Lizzie the bride was not thrilled that the dance floor was not very lively, so we got off our seats, we got on the dance floor, we made it lively.
It's always good to have friends like that.
It is, right?
Yeah.
That's what I feel like the college friends are for at these types of weddings.
Oh,
Like, oh, let me
definitely.
get my college buddies, they'll dance on the dance floor.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I did share some of the dance moves on my Instagram story. I will say my friend who's pregnant was just sitting there filming us. Like, she didn't want to participate. It's kind of horrifying to see what you look like. Like, I was like, oh, I thought I looked a lot cooler in that moment than I actually did.
Yeah, sometimes looking back, it can be a little embarrassing.
Yeah.
But it's fun in the moment. That's all that matters.
That's right,
We
Delaney.
had fun.
That is right. Okay, so you have prepared a true or false question for us here on National Sundae Day. True or false? Sundaes first appeared in Wisconsin around 1881. Oh my goodness. Okay, that would be a long time ago, but it's also a pretty simple dessert. And really, a sundae is just putting a topping on your ice cream. Let's go true.
This one is true, and they were in 2 Rivers. Only sold on Sundays.
Stop. Sundaes were only sold on Sundays.
Yeah.
I kind of like that.
Isn't that kind of fun?
Yeah. Where's a good Sunday spot to go here in Milwaukee?
I like Cops.
There's an ice cream place in Wauwatosa. Joy?
Joy's good.
Is that good?
Yeah,
We have to go there on one of our Toast takeovers.
we will.
I drive past it. Although, I don't know. It's kind of crazy that National Sunday Day is November 11th. It shouldn't it be
Right?
like July 11th?
You would think.
The temperature that's in our newsroom right now, there's no way I would want an ice cream sundae.
No, not a great day for an ice cream sundae.
It is not a great day for an ice cream sundae today. But happy National Sunday Day. I feel like it
It
sounds
sounds weird.
because
but
I had to
yeah.
say day twice. National Sunday
Sunday.
Day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
National Sunday Day.
but happy National Sunday
Happy
Day.
National Sunday Day.
Delaney, I think we should take a live look at Mitchell International Airport where, oof, it's windy right there. You can see that camera shaking around. But I was going to just say, I wanted to look up some of the flights coming in and out of Mitchell International Airport today because we know that it has been a bit of a travel nightmare. Obviously, the FAA starting Friday said that airlines at 40 major airports needed to cut their flights by 10%, which in perspective is thousands of flights that needed to be canceled. And also, just so many flights are delayed right now because even if your flight takes off, you might be waiting on the runway a very long time until you get clearance because there just aren't as many air traffic controllers as normal, as we are on day 42, I want to believe, of the government shutdown, the longest in our country's history, meaning that those air traffic controllers have gone 2 full paychecks without receiving $1. Of course, when the government is funded, they will receive back pay, but that's a big ask to continue showing up to work without getting pay, and we know not everybody can. And we've also seen the same thing for some TSA agents. So I was looking up today, and I do see some delayed flights. Mitchell International Airport was not one of those 40 that needed to cut flights. However, a lot of the hubs that people fly to in and out of and connect through with Milwaukee was impacted. So we're talking about Midway International Airport in Chicago, O'Hare International Airport in Chicago, Minneapolis, Detroit. So because of that, we are seeing some delayed flights. It looks like today we had a New York flight get delayed, another New York flight get delayed. One of the flights going to Chicago was canceled. Another one from United going to Chicago canceled, and another New York one also delayed. So those are still kind of causing a little bit of a headache here if you're traveling. Just keep an eye on your itinerary, on your plans. Hopefully those that were flying to Chicago were able to in time just drive to Chicago and park and then go to their next destination. Usually if you're flying from Milwaukee to Chicago, you're just connecting somewhere else. So we'll keep our eye on that. Of course, we'll keep our eye on anything that comes out of the government shutdown as well here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. We are going to go and take another quick break here, and then we'll look at the feeds, see what we can find you. But stick around, because remember, we've got some really fascinating interviews coming up. We get to meet the 2 new black rhinos at the zoo here in Milwaukee, which, spoiler alert, they sent us some videos. They are pretty cute. And we're also going to talk with the Milwaukee Admirals because they've got some really fun games this week. Delaney, actually, I'm going to bring you in. Lennon, your golden retriever, does she want to go to a hockey game on Saturday?
I bet she would.
Because she can. It's dog day at the Milwaukee Admirals game on Saturday.
That's so fun.
Yeah, I think it's like a $5 or a $10 ticket, but you get to bring your doggo with you. And if your kids love one dog in particular, Bluey's going to be there too.
How fun.
I know. I always get jealous because I have a dog, but Zobrist does not like other dogs, so he cannot participate in these things. I'm like, dude, can you get over that? Because this would be so fun.
Yeah, that sounds like a ton of fun.
It does, but that's okay. We'll get to learn all about that. They've got some more fun themes for tomorrow and for Friday. Full slate of games here in Milwaukee.
I'm excited to learn about the themes.
I know, they're good ones. I've loved the themes that we've covered already. They had trick-or-treating on October 31st, so they know what they're doing. We'll chat with them at 1:45, but for now, we're going to take another quick break here on the Wisconsin Live Desk.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Hey you guys, welcome back to the Wisconsin Live Desk this Tuesday afternoon. Time check for you is 1:24. Delaney and I were looking at the commercial break at some of the feeds because it is Veterans Day, and right now, really across the country, there are some different celebrations and just parades and things like that to honor those men and women who served our country. I want to take you out to one in LA that's happening right now. We're getting an aerial view, that view from the sky. Kind of a cool setup there, as you can see. I guess it's less of a parade and more of a ceremony because they're sitting down there. We're going to bump the audio here and see if we can hear anything, but because it's from the sky, I'm going to guess there's not any audio, but you never know, so let's see. Yeah, that sounds like a helicopter, so that makes sense. So, no audio to listen to, but we're going to keep our eye here on that celebration. We know there's one happening right now in New York, so if something new pops up that we're able to bring you live here on the Wisconsin Live Desk, we will absolutely do that for you. In the meantime, we're getting ready in just a few minutes to talk the new black rhinos at the Milwaukee County Zoo. They are two eastern black rhinos. There's a boy and a girl. I was just reading their names. Let's see, there's one that is 16 years old. Oh, that's so exciting. That's Suri. And then the other one is 22 years old. That's Kianga. But they are beautiful. Let me just show you a little bit of the footage that we have. As they eat and they kind of get ready, they're currently, I think, oh, what is that called when you can't go out, Delaney?
Quarantine?
Thank you. You would think after the pandemic that I would have really remembered that word. Thank you. They were, at last check, being quarantined, so they weren't meeting any guests yet. They had traveled to us from, actually, Cincinnati. But they'll be a part of a breeding program here in Milwaukee. I think they are truly beautiful to look at. Although for their ages, they seem small, but I guess perspective would help us. I don't know how big this room is that they're in, but they just seem so itty bitty and little and so cute. Delaney, what's your favorite animal when you go to the zoo?
I like to go by the lions.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
She is fearless.
I like the big cats.
Okay.
Yeah, what about you?
Growing up, I would have said a zebra. I've always loved zebras. And then it's not really at the zoo. It would be at an aquarium. If I could remember the name of it would be great. Hold on. That's going to bother me so much, Delaney. Name some water creatures. Otters. Sea otters.
Oh, those are cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also love manatees.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I just love animals. Like getting to be up close to them, be mesmerized by their size and what they're able to do. It's just, I love animals.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really fascinating.
So I do love that we have these two eastern black rhinos.
I know, I'm excited.
I can't wait to learn so much more about them.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it'll be a good time. All right, I think we should take another quick break here on the Wisconsin Live Desk, so we are all ready to talk black rhinos and the zoo when we get back. And of course, we'll keep our eye on the feeds too for any other Veterans Day celebrations that we can hop in or out of. Sound like a plan?
Sounds good.
Sounds like a plan. We'll be right back in 2 minutes.
Wisconsin Live Desk.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Wisconsin Live Desk. It is 1:30 this Tuesday afternoon. I want to take another live look outside here in downtown Milwaukee, where it is a little bit on the chilly side today. 39 degrees this afternoon, which has certainly warmed up from when I left the house earlier this morning, but still a day that if you're heading outside, you might want the winter coat, might want to bundle up just a little bit because November has arrived. It has brought with us some of those winter temperatures and even some snow. So, of course, we'll keep our eye on that. And coming up at 2:45, we'll get you a check of your forecast with one of our weather experts. But for now, I am so excited to bring Tracy in to the Wisconsin Live Desk. She's joining us with the Milwaukee County Zoo. Tracy, thanks so much for taking the time to chat today.
Yes, thank you for having me so that we can discuss some exciting news here out at the zoo.
That's right. I mean, I want to just start with getting to be introduced to the two new eastern black rhinos that are here at the Milwaukee County Zoo. We have some video of them. Tell us all about them, Tracy.
Sure. So we have, as you said, our two new rhinos. The first one and one that you're seeing right there is our female rhino, and that is Zuri. And she came to us from the Cincinnati Zoo, and she is 16 years old. And then our second black rhino is going to be Kianga. He is our male. He is about 22 years old. And lucky enough, he came to us from Racine. So I know he has a lot of fans in Racine, and they can come on down and see him in Milwaukee.
Yeah, but that's so nice for those of them in Racine who have probably grown to love this guy, that you can still come and see him just a short drive away here in Milwaukee. I know that they were quarantined when they first arrived. Are they still in quarantine, or have the two of them met yet?
They are still in quarantine. So our teams are working with them. They're working with them individually, but they are still in quarantine. So hopefully soon, possibly this week, they will clear quarantine, and then we will start introducing them out into our new indoor habitat for our rhinos, getting ready and preparing them and the facility and the other animals so that we can welcome guests to come out and see them.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so tell us all about black rhinos. What are some of their characteristics, their personality traits, besides being adorable? I feel like they've already stolen my heart.
Absolutely. And I know they will steal your heart, but also individual personalities. So like any animal, black rhinos are going to have individual personalities. Both of these guys are super sweet. They really enjoy working with their care staff and training. And so we can't wait until our guests can meet them. But one of the really cool things that I know our guests are going to love when they hear it during a training session is that Kianga likes to blow raspberries. And I think he is pretty well known for it in Racine as well, but just a really cute characteristics for him. And then on the flip side for Zuri, she's got these really cute fuzzy ears, which makes her a little unique, but adorable nonetheless. But again, both of them very, very sweet, enjoy working with their care staff, and we just can't wait to have our guests come and meet them.
Yeah, absolutely. When it comes to black rhinos as a species, I mean, are there a lot of them here in North America? Are they on the more endangered side? How does that look population-wise?
So black rhinos are critically endangered. So they are really, they're declining, and that's due to habitat loss and also through poaching for their horn. There's only about 55 eastern black rhinos or black rhinos in North America. So not as prevalent. And this is why this move was super important for our black rhinos in human care. Kianga and Zuri did come to us with a breeding recommendation. So we are super excited, and hopefully we will be welcoming little ones, which would be what we want to boost that population as well.
Yes, absolutely. Especially when, critically endangered. We'd love to see some babies. But also, I mean, tiny little black baby rhinos would be pretty cute as well.
They are. I can attest to that.
Oh, I can only imagine. Okay, so this is also kind of part of your brand new Rhino Care Center. Tell me all about that expansion.
Yeah, so this is phase 3 of our Adventure Africa campaign. So what we did is we created a better space for our rhinos and an indoor space for our guests. So our black rhinos will have a larger indoor space, and then also through winter, guests will be able to come and get up close with our rhinos. But also we expanded and have an indoor space for our hippos as well, that guests can come and get up close to our hippo as well. And really exciting is that we are able now to have our zebras up in that area. Zebras are a fan favorite for our guests, and they have their own yard, and they actually have been out in the yard. So if people come see, they'll see our zebras out in the yard if the weather is, if the temperature is fine for them.
Yeah, Tracy, I was actually just saying on the Wisconsin Live Desk a couple of minutes ago that zebras are one of my favorite animals. So this is music to my ears. If anybody's watching right now that's not made it out to the Milwaukee County Zoo, tell us more of what we can find when we stop by.
Absolutely. So, we're working towards opening our new Rhino Care Center in our indoor hippo haven. But also we have Wild Lights coming up, which will be kicking off here on the weekend of November 21st. And so, we have plenty of warm spaces for people to come out, even on a cold day, to enjoy our animals as well. We're here all year round.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything else exciting or new announcements that we just got to know about here?
I think we have a few that are coming up, but I'm not sure I can share. So what I would say is stay tuned to our social media and follow that for all the new updates that are coming out.
Tracy, we call that a tease, and we're always down for a good tease here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. Quickly going back to those eastern black rhinos, I know they're in quarantine. Any idea when we might be able to be lucky enough to see them in person ourselves?
We have to go at the rhinos pace.
Okay.
So once they clear quarantine, we will work and make them comfortable in their new spaces, and then we'll be ready to welcome guests.
Awesome. I know there's probably a lot of people very excited to make sure they feel welcome here in Milwaukee, because how special to not have one, but two, and maybe down the line some babies, maybe. We'll see.
We're hopeful.
That's right. Tracy, thanks so much for joining us here on the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. I love those cute little eastern black rhinos. I feel like I should just pop up the video of them arriving one more time, because they are truly the cutest thing. I can't believe, they look great for their ages. When I first saw the video, thought they were probably younger black rhinos, but 16 and 22. And Delaney, have you ever seen a black rhino be able to blow a raspberry?
I have not.
Can you imagine, Delaney, if you said you had?
Right? That's so crazy, but it would be fun to see.
So fun. All right, well, that was a great interview. I'm so excited for these black rhinos. We are going to take another break here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. We'll be back.
Wisconsin Live Desk.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Wisconsin Live Desk. Time check for you, 1:40. So we've got just a little bit under an hour left with me, and then at 2:30, Kim Murphy will take over and get you to 3:30 here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. If you're just tuning in and you're noticing my shirt, it is Veterans Day, and for the 5th year, Fox has partnered again with Honor U.S. Vets for their camo campaign, which is all about making camo your cause. It's a way to actually bring attention and fundraise for veterans who are homeless, which unfortunately there are 32,000 veterans here in the United States who are without a home. So if you want to help out, you can go to fox6now.com. There is a story that will have all the links, whether you want to donate money. Veterans Day is on 11/11, so an $11 donation perhaps, or they do have some merchandise for sale that you can pick up and purchase, and all that money will also go towards the cause of helping these veterans, some of who are struggling, you know, with mental health issues or with drugs or with alcohol. So as many resources that we can provide for them to say thank you and to help them after they sacrificed so much and served on the front line for us and our freedom. So we have been monitoring the feeds to see some of the different Veterans Day celebrations that are happening across the country, and one did just pop up. This is in California. I think it's San Fernando. So we were going to see if we could listen in here. It looks more of a crowd shot than it is the parade route shot, but we were just trying to see what we could find and bring you here on the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Officer 3rd Class Jesse A. Dominguez, United States Navy, 1978 to 1981, Cold War veteran. Petty Officer Jesse A. Dominguez, Happy Veterans Day! Thank you for your service. You're a hero to the Valley. Senior Airman Jesus Alvarado, U.S. Air Force, Cold War veteran, Staff Sergeant Eloy Urias, U.S. Air Force, Vietnam veteran, and Private First Class Jimmy Corralejo, U.S. Army, Korean War veteran, stationed in Gimpo, South Korea as a commander, communications operator. All right, hang on. Master Sergeant Richard A. Reyes, United States Air Force, 1945 to 1970, World War II era Marine Corps, Army, and Air Force. In memory of Private Refugio Nunez, United States Army, 1945 to 1946, World War II era veteran. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for these heroes for their service and their sacrifice. Master Sergeant Richard A. Reyes and Refugio Nunez. So Refugio Nunez, Victor Nunez is driving in honor of his father. World War II veteran Private Refugio Nunez is joined by his wife Geraldine Nunez, riding in memory of her father. Master Sergeant Richard A. Reyes, who proudly served the United States Army, Marine Corps, and Air Force across 4 wars. World War II, Korean, Cold War, and Vietnam. All right, here we've got Cold War veteran Jesus Alvarado, E4 law enforcement specialist Eloy Urias, and Jimmy Corralejo. Please give it up for these amazing heroes that have served in Private First Class, U.S. Army, Korean War veteran, and stationed in Gimpo, South Korea as a communications operator. Here we have Edward Landon in a 1959 Austin Healey. Welcome back, U.S. Army Specialist Edward Landon. Our Fort Grand Marshal, Special Landon, served with the 1st Call 25 Infantry unit in Vietnam from 1971 to 1973, and is riding today with Father Andrew Hedstrom of St. Ferdinand's Church, who served as a U.S. Army Specialist 5 military police during Operation Enduring Freedom.
And Eddie is a cancer survivor. We're proud of you,
So
Eddie.
he's a hero. Please give it up.
Cancer survivor.
Please give it up for this hero.
And one heck of an accountant, too.
And I've got riding next to U.S. Marine Corps.
Alrighty, if you're just joining us, we were listening in here on this Veterans Day parade happening in California. I always say they're kind of a behind-the-scenes look, so I know at moments we were kind of zooming in and out as the photographer who's there on scene is getting the shots he needs for his newscast later tonight. But I love that as these veterans are making their way along the parade route, that they are shouting out their names and their service and thanking them individually by name, even those who are no longer with us. They had certain family members who were drafted driving those vehicles in their honor and in their memory, and a beautiful tribute there out of California this Veterans Day. So just another reminder, if you go to fox6now.com, you can participate and make Camo your cause this Veterans Day, donating money or buying some of the special merchandise that they have made with us here at Fox to help those veterans, those 32,000 veterans here in the United States who are currently experiencing homelessness. I do actually want to switch gears now, heading to the ice, talking with Milwaukee Admirals. We've joined again with their president, John Greenberg. Let me pull him up here for us here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. Thanks so much for joining us again.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Haley.
Yeah, we got to talk to you guys last time before all of your kind of Halloween themed or Oktoberfest. You guys had it all ready for that week, and you guys have another slate of good themed games this week. But for starters, I feel like we should talk about the AHL Player of the Week.
We should, absolutely. Matt Murray, our goaltender, had a fantastic week last week, and he was named the Howie's Hockey Tape Player of the Week, which is a wonderful honor for him and well-deserved. He's been really, really solid since the start of the year and had a really good week last week.
That's right. It's always nice to not only have a solid performance, but then to get recognized for it and named that AHL Player of the Week. It just goes to show the talent that we have on our team here in Milwaukee, which is why we want to go out and see them in our next chance tomorrow.
It is. It's one of our annual school day games. So we play 2 of these a season. We started this back probably about 12 or 13 years ago, and we bring out thousands and thousands of kids in schools and teachers and chaperones, and we play at 10:30 in the morning. So it's a game that brings an enormous amount of energy into the building. And normally 10:30 would be a time where our players would be practicing. So now instead of doing that, they're gonna play against the Chicago Wolves, one of our rivals, and it's always a very exciting and very energetic day.
I would imagine that's got to be a really rewarding game for the players, getting to play for all of these kids who I'm sure are thrilled to be taking a little break from school, seeing them instead. But I'm sure they're really inspired by your players. I'd imagine that's probably cool for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Players certainly they love the energy for sure, and I would tell you that the game is an educational game as well. We give out workbooks that have information about math and science and geography and history, all that are related to the game of hockey and to the Admirals. And so those are workbooks that are broken down to kindergarteners to all the way up to middle schoolers. So it's a chance for us to have people learn a little bit about the Admirals, learn a little bit about where our players are from, and just it's a good opportunity for the teachers to get a little something fun and educational at the same time.
Yeah, really just making a classroom out of the arena. There's still so many lessons to learn there. You mentioned it a little bit. I'm curious. I'm newer to Milwaukee. I know that we're pretty big rivals on most of our sports teams when it comes to Chicago. Is that how we feel about the Wolves?
Yeah, I think it's the Wolves. I think the Rockford Ice Hogs, who we just played here last weekend, we certainly have a strong rivalry with them. And if you were here for the game last Friday, I believe there was 118 penalty minutes, I think, in the first 2 periods. So that was a little ludicrous. But, yeah, it's a strong rivalry. And obviously divisional games are always really important. And we play each other a lot. So this is part of a 12-game series between us and Chicago, a 12-game series with us and Rockford. And so, yeah, a lot of rivalry there for sure.
Okay, and also talk to me about Summerfest winning weekday, because I know that's also happening tomorrow.
It is, and that's a really fun promotion. So when the Admirals win, I don't say if we win, it's when we win.
That's right.
You can use your ticket from the game on that weekday to get a free ticket for the next weekday. So, if we win the game, let me rephrase that. I just corrected myself. When we win the game tomorrow, anybody can redeem the ticket they have for tomorrow's game for our next weekday, which is on the 26th of November, the night before Thanksgiving, and get a free ticket to that game. And it's been a very fun promotion for our players. They feel like building crowds for weekday games is something they see bigger and bigger every time they win.
Yeah, I mean, I love this. How fun! One more reason to root for that win, knowing you get to go to another game for free. That's great. Also great, Night at the Barn coming up on Friday. What do we got to know for this one?
Yeah, this is our third year doing Night at the Barn, and we work with a local petting zoo who bring animals into the building, and they set up a whole petting zoo area down on the lower level of the building, just outside the Coors Light chill zone, and people can come down and see all the different animals that they bring. It's a quite an extensive array. You know, there's goats and there's chickens and little horses. It's really quite the array of animals that people can come and check out. For those of us who live in the city, maybe you don't get that type of access to be able to see the farm and see the animals that live on the farm. So we're bringing the farm to the building, and people can come on down and check that out. It was very, very popular the first 2 years we've done it, and again, we're doing this on Friday night.
I have to ask, and I might have even asked you this last time, but how do you guys come up with these theme nights? Because I would have never thought to bring farm animals to a hockey game, but now I love it. Like, it's genius.
Well, it comes from all different members of our staff. Everybody's ideas here are really, wanted. Creative ideas are wanted. This Night at the Barn idea came from somebody in our ticket operations department 3 years ago. And, she's like, I would love to do this. I grew up on a farm when I was growing up, and I think people would like to see this. And we're like, okay, I will admit I was a little skeptical the first year, like, how is this going to go? And it was wildly popular. So, you never know where a good idea is going to come from. And it's the beauty of working in minor league sports is that we can try a lot of different things that maybe a major league team isn't able to do. And we really are excited to be able to have that creative template to be able to have fun with.
Yeah. Okay, John, what was your favorite farm animal in years past that you've gotten to see?
Oh, there was a donkey that was I was very curious to see how they were going to get the donkey in and out of the building, but the donkey cooperated, which was good, and didn't make a mess on the way out, which was also good. So, I think that was a lot of fun to have a donkey in the building.
I love that. And also Friday is Fair Deal Friday, which is kind of another 2-for-1 deal.
Yeah, and it kind of goes well with the Night at the Barn, having a state fair deal as well. So that deal is you get a ticket for our game on Friday night. You also get a ticket to the Wisconsin State Fair next summer. So with all the cold weather we're having, to be able to think of something warm coming up next August, you can get both of those things for just $24. So a ticket to the Admirals game on Friday, a ticket to the State Fair if you want to buy the Fair Deal Friday deal.
Yeah, that's a great deal right there. And I always say you guys must always be busy and hard at work, because then you have yet another game on Saturday with another fun theme. I've got a dog. My producer Delaney has a dog, so we're all ears here. Talk to us about Dog Day.
Bring your dogs to the game. Absolutely. It's a fun night every year. Again, something we brought from the Bradley Center over here to Panther Arena when we moved. And you can bring your dog to the game. Your dog ticket's just $5, and a portion of that money is going to go to Haws, which is a great partner of ours. There's also going to be, I believe, a pet supply drive. So all of the dogs come in through the State Street entrance, and people can bring their dogs out. And people have brought dogs of all shapes and sizes. It has literally been purse dogs to Great Danes, and the dog owners do such a wonderful job of kind of policing their own area, and everybody kind of takes good care of making sure that the dogs are having fun. And I always like to have people pay attention during the national anthem, because a lot of times you'll hear howling coming from the dog areas, and it's kind of makes you laugh that the dogs are kind of singing along.
Yeah, the dogs, they know what's up. They said this is our time to pay attention and to sing along. That is too funny. I feel like we might have buried the lead, because you guys have a celebrity appearance that I think all the parents want to know about, because the kiddos are going to, I think, really like this.
Yeah. Bluey's coming to the game on Saturday night, and that's a little beyond my my television watching, but I can tell you that everybody I know who has kids knows who Bluey is, and so Bluey will be in the building making an appearance on Saturday night. for pictures and hanging out on the concourse and hanging out with Roscoe, our mascot. So that should be a lot of fun to have Bluey here. And we've had a very big response from the fact that Bluey's making an appearance with us.
Oh, I can only imagine. I too, John, I've never watched Bluey, but I do have nieces who are obsessed. You know, even if it's just like a Halloween inflatable, they don't want to leave Bluey's side. So the real Bluey being there, that's going to be something to see.
Got to join us for sure. And one thing I missed on Friday night that is really important to us that we're just starting to roll out now is we have joined with the Milwaukee Fire Department, with Traction Factory, who's one of our partners, and with Modern Woodman, another one of our partners. And we're putting together a big food drive to benefit Nourish Milwaukee or Nourish MKE. So please, if you're coming to the game on Friday night, please bring non-perishable food items. I think we've known in our community and you know, countrywide that this year is a year where we could all do a little bit more to help people who are in need. And on Friday night is a chance to do that just by bringing some non-perishable food items. And we're going to give you a special ticket deal just for doing it with a buy one, get one ticket offer for some upcoming games. So, but thank you to everybody in advance for thinking about bringing some food items.
No, I think that's a great reminder. As you were just saying, I think our community is a very generous one, and they want to help, especially as we talk about people struggling right now to get food on the table. Sometimes we have the food, but we don't know where to bring it. So this is great. We can bring it to the game, drop it off. You guys will get it into the hands that need it. That is amazing. If somebody's never been out to a Milwaukee Admirals game before, what are you excited for them to get to experience for the first time?
Well, I think our entertainment that surrounds the game is second to none. I think we've got a good team. I think we're really fun to watch on the ice. I think the entertainment that goes on around it is equal to that. And you know, we want to entertain you from the minute you walk through the door until the minute that you leave. And we're really grateful that you choose to spend your discretionary dollars with us. So I hope people will come out. They'll have a good time. It's a chance to get away from all the daily noise and come here and just have some fun with us.
I was going to say it's a chance to get away from the cold, but actually we probably still want to bundle up.
Yeah, it's still a little bit cool inside here for sure. Yeah.
That's right. So much fun. You guys are doing so many fun theme nights, so we're excited to get to chat with you guys on a weekly basis because you guys have a lot going on and there's a lot to celebrate and to follow with the Milwaukee Admirals. But thanks for getting us up to speed on this week's agenda.
Absolutely. Thanks, Haley. Have a good week.
You too. So much fun things to do. I honestly can't even pick which one of those theme nights I would want to go to. So you might just have to go to them all, which I think is a great idea. But I love that school day tomorrow that they build in lessons. That is so smart, so cool for all those kiddos. I remember when I would get to take field trips, some of my favorite days of school, but to also be learning while we're there. Very, very fun. Make sure and grab those tickets. We'll make sure and get a link for you on fox6now.com or inside our Fox Local app. All right, we're going to take another quick break here on the Wisconsin Live Desk, and then we'll see if we're going to check in with Jason Calvi. Maybe. He said he would join us around 2, but we'll see. We'll see when we come back. For now, we'll see you after the break.
This is the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Wisconsin Live Desk. We are now at 2 o'clock, which means we've only got 30 minutes left together. You and I, and then Kim Murphy will hop in. She'll take over, get you all the way to 3:30 here on the Wisconsin Live Desk, where we try and bring you the latest news really happening here in southeastern Wisconsin, also just around the Badger State, the country, sometimes even the world. We've had a lot of fun talking about some new black rhinos that are coming to the Milwaukee County Zoo. We've gotten us all prepared for your Milwaukee Admirals games that are coming up later this week with all sorts of fun themes. We also even got to chat with the Milwaukee family who donated their Christmas tree to be right outside Fiserv Forum. And now it is time to hear from one of our favorites here on the Wisconsin Live Desk, the Jason Calvi, who brought a prop with him. Jason, are you making camo your cause today?
I got the hat right here.
It looks good. Let's see it on.
Well, that's...
Oh, nope. If you're going to bring a hat,
then we're going to have to use it for the entire hit.
Well, we ruined... Thank you for putting it on for us this Veterans Day. Hey, you are working on a story right now with DPI report cards. Mm-hmm. What have you been finding? The report cards are out. You've been digging into them. What's the latest here?
Yeah, state law requires that the Department of Public Instruction release these report cards every single year. And it's not just a report card for every single district in the state, but it's also for every single public school in the state, and as well as your charter schools and your choice schools as well. So this is a big undertaking. And why is it so valuable if you're listening at home? Well, it gives us insight into your particular school district. How is it doing? And how is that particular your neighborhood school doing? So it's sort of a barometer for parents to be able to check in. It's also for taxpayers and anyone else in the community that's concerned to be able to pay attention to the progress both for the school and for the students.
You know, Jason, I was just looking this up right here on my computer, these report cards. I'm impressed that it's not just a district grade, but you can go by elementary school even, and they each have their own individual report card. I'm sure this is a massive undertaking. What have you found so far? How is Milwaukee faring as far as the grade on these cards?
Well, it is interesting because Milwaukee Public Schools, which is the state's largest school district, actually is going down. So it's a star system, so it's 1 star to 5 star, 5 star being the highest, meaning significantly excels or significantly exceeds state expectations, and then a 4 stars exceeds expectation, 3 stars meets expectations, and then 2 stars meets few expectations, and then a 1 star is failing to meet expectations. So MPS went from last year being 3 stars to this year's report card showing it to be a 2 star, meaning it meets few expectations. That's for MPS, the state's largest school district.
Okay, so I mean, parents who are watching right now, that is not great news to hear that they've gone down to a 2 star in this rating. What do they hope to do with this data? I mean, where do we go from here to hopefully get that back up?
Yeah, when I was talking to one of the educational experts in Milwaukee who's not affiliated and is pretty critical of MPS, he said that this really is that the district potentially had challenges in the past and they're still recovering. He, who again has been very critical of the district in the past, said that the district is making inroads to improve the score. So even though it's gone from a 3 star to a 2 star, its overall percentage actually went up a little bit, and I know that's a little confusing. It's because the benchmarks have changed. What is an A, what is a B, what is a C, what is a D, or what is a 1 star, what is a 2 star, et cetera, have all changed. So right now the school district's actually getting a higher percentage grade than it got last year, but it did just because of the changes in what is a 1 star, what is a 2 star, what is a 3 star. It's actually gone down to a 2 star. So it's, you can look at it both ways. It's improving at the same time as it does still have challenges ahead. And we heard from the superintendent today who says they really are making inroads to improve these scores at the state's largest school district, MPS.
Jason, I know there's clearly a lot of data to dig in. By no means have you been able to read each and every one of these report cards, but have you found anything that really stood out to you as fascinating or interesting or not what you expected?
One of the things that was interesting was that whole issue with MPS, and they're under new leadership, and they've had some challenges both financially and academic, as we've seen in their report cards and in their assessments and things like that. But we've also seen, if you look statewide, and you look at all the districts, there are 378 public school districts that get one of these star ratings. And of the 378 public school districts that are rated, 0 of those districts have a 1-star, meaning that according to this rating system, 0 school districts fail to meet expectations.
Okay.
According to the state numbers. Now, again, people in the community might raise some eyebrows about that and say, so you're telling me there's no school districts in the entire state that are failing to meet expectations?
Yeah, definitely an interesting point there, Jason. Wisconsin does open enrollment when it comes to public schools. Do you think these report cards have any sort of a decision-making ability for parents where they go, the school that my child was assigned to isn't performing the way I'd want to. This other one got a higher one. Let's try and go there.
I mean, definitely you can see that playing out potentially. I mean, parents are able to look at these and make important decisions because, I mean, let's face it, you're talking about the education of your children, grandchildren, aunts, uncles, not aunts and uncles, but nieces and nephews, grandchildren, children, and you want the best for them. You want the best for your community, right? So parents can make determinations about this and say, well, maybe one of these neighboring school districts has a better track record with these report cards. Now, what goes into all these numbers that we're talking about, 1-star, 2-star, 3-star, 4-star, 5-star, there's a lot of different things. It's not just the grades. It's not just how well they do on standardized tests, the forward exam here in Wisconsin. It's not all that. That's one component of these grades that we're talking about. But there's other components as well, as far as graduation rates and how much of the school body or the district body is on track to graduate on time. That's one of the other components here. So there's a lot that goes into these report cards, not just how well they did on the standardized test.
You said that there were no schools in Wisconsin that had 1-star. I'm curious.
Hold on 1 second. Let me make sure I'm very clear. 0 school districts had 1-star.
Okay.
But there were some schools that did have 1-star. I believe there was something like potentially, there was, I believe, maybe 70 schools across the state that received 1-star, which means that those schools are deemed by the state to be failing to meet expectations.
Okay, so there are some schools that had 1-star, but no school districts. On the other end of the rating scales, were there some 5-star schools in these report cards?
Oh yeah, lots. I mean, there were 29 school districts that were 5-star, which means significantly exceeds expectations. We'll have some of those tonight. And also, there were a number of schools in Milwaukee that were considered 5-star schools. So definitely 29 districts that were deemed 5-star, and 151 that were deemed 4 stars, and then 175 that were deemed 3 stars, 23 that were 2 stars, and 0 school districts that were 1-star.
Okay, Jason, anything else you want to talk about with district report cards before I do ask you a question off topic?
Well, I guess if you're going to ask me an off-topic question, I'll be talking for the next 20 minutes about the topic of the day.
Which is?
Talking about the report cards.
Oh, because you don't want to talk about the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile?
Well, I guess if you're going to ask me that, then the hat has to go back on.
Okay.
Let me,
Yeah, put the hat here. Jason, you're not in this alone. I'll put my hat on as well. Okay, so the Oscar...
Wait a minute, you're kidding me.
What?
You got a hat too?
Jason, I obviously got all this swag.
This one's from several years ago. I didn't know they were still passing these out.
I'm going to be honest, these are on a loan basis. This is temporary. Yeah. I have to give it back, Jason.
Well, this one is mine for keeps. But the problem is that I can't get this thing to be the right shape here.
Well,
I need some help. It's kind of like it's not working. I need some help here.
Yeah. Well, I'll help you when I get out of the Wisconsin Live desk room.
Okay. Thank you.
But I do want to hear about your experience. The Oscar Mayer Wienermobile. I have to take this off. The lighting is so crazy.
Yeah, it's a little sketchy.
The Oscar Mayer Wienermobile was here at FOX6. You, Mister, put on your winter coat. I would argue sprinted out to go inside.
Yeah.
How did it go?
Well, I guess you guys can't zoom in on that, but there it is.
There it is. We can see that.
And that's a little video I shot from the front of it, and then you can kind of, so this Oscar Mayer Wienermobile was in our parking lot here, and the people there let us into the Wienermobile, and we got to see what's inside. And there was lots of great puns, right? So if I can be frank with you,
Yeah, that's good.
let us catch up on.
I don't like that one because you don't put lettuce on a hot dog.
Well, you might not, but you know,
No one does.
But if a hot dog is a sandwich,
A hot dog's not a sandwich.
it is.
A hot dog's not a
A
sandwich.
definition of a sandwich is a piece of meat in between two pieces of bread. That is a sandwich. A hot dog, therefore, is a sandwich.
A couple of things. One, I love the hot doggers. One of my besties used to be a hot dogger. She was Little Link Lauren. So the hot doggers that were here today said I was Hot Diggity Haley. Did you get a hot dogger name, or were you not that cool, Jason?
I wasn't that cool. I did get to see the inside of it, and I relished the experience.
Listen, I'm happy about all the puns, but I just want our viewers to know that none of these are original. You workshopped all of these earlier.
I did. I workshopped them all morning long. Yeah.
But did you like I know inside they've got mustard and ketchup on the carpet. They've always got blue skies. Anything else that stood out to you?
Yeah, so again, I mean, I know you guys can't see this at home.
Can see
It's
this.
too small. But this is the inside of the Oscar wheel vehicle. So we're going to go inside here, and then that's Liam. He's one of our photojournalists here, Liam Simpson, who you may have seen on the live desk this weekend because he was reporting live at, I believe, a fire this weekend. So this is the inside. And yeah, they have a blue sky up above, and then they have, it's pretty great. It's pretty great. Before I let you go,
What settings do you shoot with? Because I'm actually very impressed with the quality of that video. You're quite the good photographer.
This would be something that we'd have to ask Kale.
Okay.
Because he has all the details. I know he wanted us to shoot in a particular
I'm like thinking it might be
format,
4K.
but this is also one of those new phones, so it has a pretty good camera on it.
It's looking pretty good. It's looking pretty good. All right, well, thanks so much for joining us on the Wisconsin Live Desk.
Thanks, Haley.
You are working hard on the DPI report card story. When can we catch it on Fox Local?
We are going to be on at 4 and 5, and we'll have another report at 6. So we're going to look at some of these statewide numbers, some of the local numbers for MPS, how they're doing, and we're also going to get some feedback on the actual tests, because there's been changes from year to year on these tests and kind of the guidelines that they use to rate the schools. And so it's kind of, I guess you could say for some parents, it might be hard to say, okay, am I improving or not? Because each year there's maybe a different grading criteria. So things have been changing, but now the protocol they're using right now will be used for the next few years. So we will get some consistency over the next couple years. So take a look at our story tonight. We'll join you on Fox Local for that at 4 and 5.
Yeah, I think it'll provide a lot of clarity and a lot of helpful answers to all the parents who are watching. All right, thanks, Jason.
Thanks so much, Haley.
We always love having Jason on the Wisconsin Live Desk. There's nothing Jason loves more than joining us here on the Wisconsin Live Desk, which I think is true because he brought his own hat. Delaney, I gotta ask you, who do you think wore it better?
Good question. I think you both wore it well.
We did.
Yeah.
And I think it's just, no matter what, it's a great cause to go and support. Again, fox6now.com. It's not up at like the homepage. You got to just scroll. It's like our stories. And then there's a link right there. Delaney, did you go inside the Wienermobile?
I did not.
Have you ever been inside the Wienermobile?
No.
Okay. Well, you missed your opportunity.
I know, I did.
But I was going to say, I bet you that the Wienermobile is going several places here in Milwaukee. They usually come to an area and they stay for a few days. Let's see, actually. We might be able to find where it's going. Okay, I have your information. What is today? Okay. On Thursday, you can go to Sendix West Bend from 11 to 2. On Thursday, you can go to Sendix Germantown from 3 to 6. On Friday, Sendix Greenfield, 11 to 2. And Sendix New Berlin, also on Friday, 3 to 6. And if you're going to the Germantown Christmas Festival Parade, the Wienermobile will be making its way down the parade route.
How fun.
Yeah, always fun. I am very impressed with the hot doggers. It is very hard to actually get chosen for that job. So many people apply for it, and there's only a few that are hand-selected. And I think one of them was a Badger, because she kept saying, "Go Badgers."
She did. I did hear that.
Which I know that that's a really big recruitment spot is UW-Madison, so I would not be surprised if she
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
I have a question for you, Delaney. Kim Murphy, the kind coworker that she is, during that interview with Jason, came and brought in a tin that has a singular cookie. Do we think it's for me?
Definitely. She brought one back here.
So
I
it is for
ate
me.
it already.
Okay. These are my favorite type of Christmas cookies. Kim is so sweet to think of me. Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
definitely for
obviously,
you.
I need to take a quick break then so I can eat this cookie, and then I will report back on it once we're back in 2 minutes.
Sounds like a plan.
We'll see you in 2 minutes, guys.
The Wisconsin Live Desk.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Wisconsin Live Desk. We only have about 12 minutes left before 2:30 when Kim Murphy will take over. Kim, if you are watching and that cookie was not for me, I'd like to apologize because I definitely just ate it and it was so good. That is genuinely my favorite type of Christmas cookies. It's the one with the little Hershey kiss in the middle. Delaney ate one. What was your review?
It was so good.
So good. I need to learn how to make those because I imagine it's not that hard and it's just delicious.
Yeah.
Do you want to have a baking day together?
Let's do it.
We should see if Kim made these.
I think she did.
So then Kim can teach us.
True.
Done.
There we go.
That's our plan. But that was actually the pick-me-up that I didn't know that I needed this Tuesday afternoon here at 2:19. We do have a couple more stories to hit before we hand things over to Kim Murphy, starting by heading out here to D.C., of course, taking a live look here at Capitol Hill, which honestly, as a side note, it is so sad to me that the sun is already setting. It is 2:19, obviously 3:19 in D.C., but that is crazy to me. It looks like it should be 6 p.m., not 3 in the afternoon, daylight saving. But I did want to talk a little bit about the government shutdown. Again, I'm bad at math. I think we're in day 42. For sure, confidently, I can tell you that this is the longest the government has ever been shut down in the country's history. But for the first time, we do have some progress being made to potentially refund the government and reopen the government, which is that the Senate did vote to approve the resolution that would reopen the government, and they did pass it. So it was a 60-40 vote. So 40 Democrats still said no. However, 10 of them swapped over and said yes to get that majority that they needed, the 60-40 there. But that does not mean that the government is back open. Next, it will go to the House, who also has to vote before that bill can make its way to President Trump's desk to sign. The House will not vote on it until, at the earliest, tomorrow afternoon. So, of course, we will continue to follow that. We know the government shutdown is impacting many, many people in all sorts of different ways, from those who rely on programs and resources like SNAP or like WIC, to those of you who are just traveling, who are seeing, you know, flights get canceled or delay, as the FAA again did say that those 40 major U.S. airports had to cut their flights by 10%. So we know a lot of people are following this closely. We are also following it closely here at the Wisconsin Live Desk, and any updates we will absolutely bring your way, especially if it happens tomorrow, potentially during the Wisconsin Live Desk. We don't have a time for it, but we were told that the members of the House would return to Washington for a vote as early as Wednesday afternoon. So we'll keep our eye on that as we continue our coverage there. I did want one last time before I go to once again talk about Wear Camo on Veterans Day. This is Make Camo Your Cause. It is, I believe, the 5th year that Fox has partnered with U.S. Vets to make sure that we honor U.S. veterans and that we thank them for their service. But particularly, we're wearing camo today to hopefully start a conversation about veterans in our country who are homeless. It's estimated around 32,000 are homeless here in the U.S. And so it's a way to raise money for them, to get them some resources, to hopefully get them back on their feet after they served us, whether that be, you know, some resources for mental health struggles, drug or alcohol issues, or even just, you know, housing, those basic needs. So if you would like to donate, you can absolutely go to fox6now.com on our website. There in our kind of story section will be a link that you can click on to donate money. An easy suggestion was $11. Veterans Day is on 11/11. Obviously, if you can give more, absolutely do that. Or they do have some merchandise that you can buy with proceeds then going to the cause as well. So I know Jason and I were rocking those hats for a little bit. We also have the shirt that I'm wearing. And then Delaney and I are talking about how much we actually love this glass, which is another one that has kind of that camo there. But even if you can't give money-wise, wear camo. It helps to start the conversation, you know? I think that's the goal, is to see so many people wearing camo that you go, what's going on today? And then you can tell them about Make Camo Your Cause and about the issue that is veterans who are facing homelessness. So another opportunity there to give. And of course, you can also give when it comes to the FOX6 Coats for Kids drive. So I want to walk us through this again, because there's two different kind of components. One, there are special drive-through coat collection events happening tomorrow. These will just be tomorrow. They're at Steinhoffel's at their kind of 3 Milwaukee area locations. We have Menominee Falls from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Then it will go to Waukesha from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And then it goes to Oak Creek from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. These are a great opportunity if you are not wanting to have to get out of your car, go into a store, but you're really wanting to donate coats that you have at your house. Come here. This is a drive-through opportunity, so you don't even have to get out of your vehicle. And of course, if you have 4 coats, you will be given the option if you would like 2 Disney on Ice tickets or 2 Monster Jam tickets. But again, that does require the donation of at least 4 coats, and then you'll get those 2 tickets in exchange. But another just quick reminder as far as what can be donated when it comes to coats for kids. We are looking for new winter coats of all sizes for the kiddos. I mean, kids from little, you know, kindergarten, I don't even know, 2T, 3T, 4T, all the way up to honestly adult sizes. Because when you talk about those boys when they're in 6th, 7th, 8th grade, they are certainly, I feel like, getting taller than ever as someone who's 5'3". So they are looking for all sorts of different sizes. New donations, of course. You can also donate gently loved coats. So just make sure if it's a coat that's been worn before that it's still in nice condition, right? We want that zipper to work. We want the pockets not to have holes in them, no tears or rips. We want to make sure it's also warm. We want to make sure it's a winter coat, not like a sweatshirt. I always say the best way to think about this is, would you want your child to wear the winter coat? And if the answer is yes, donate it. If the answer is no, let's not do that. You can also donate some winter gear. So we are collecting new scarves, new gloves or mittens, new winter hats, all the accessories that keep the kids warm. Or you can donate monetarily. So just head to fox6now.com. Right on the very top, or Fox Local, the app, you will see the option to click on the Fox for Kids or Coats for Kids drive. donate your money right there. That's through Operation Warm. For every $25 that you donate, we're able to buy a brand new winter coat that would actually retail for $61. It is crazy the deal that Operation Warm is able to work out with their kind of manufacturers and distributors to make sure that as many kids as possible can get their coats. I feel like, Delaney, maybe we should talk about the Packers as well one more time.
Let's do it.
She says, let's do it. I'm trying to help us all move on quickly from Monday Night Football. So we're going to forget about Monday Night Football. We're going to forget about the loss to the Eagles. And instead, we're going to look ahead to Sunday, which I think is week 11. I think it's week 11, where we're taking on the New York Giants. This will be in New York, which I think is technically in New Jersey. I think that's where the Giants actually play. But either way, you don't have to hop on a plane. You don't have to travel. You can catch the game right here on Fox 6. We'll have Fox NFL kickoff coverage starting at 10 a.m., then the Fox NFL Sunday at 11. Then your Green Bay Packers will play at noon. Of course, make sure and stay tuned. We'll have a special edition of Fox 6 News after the game, as well as Fox 6 Sports Blitz at 10:30. I really hope, Delaney, that next time we talk to Tim Van Warren, I feel like we're going to have to just quickly get over the loss to the Eagles, but I hope I make him proud with my win on fantasy football.
Yeah, I think he'll be impressed.
I know. I'm just proud because I feel like he is proud of me. And he knows football.
Exactly.
So that's always good. Okay, I wish that there was more. I guess I could take us out live to New York. Should we do that, Delaney?
Yeah, we can do that.
The feeds are being a little quiet today, you guys. I apologize, but what's not to love about New York? Right?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to pull it up right here. This is a live look. Kayla's nicely in the window. Which is right here. Taking a look at Radio City Music Hall. Windy day in New York as well. Delaney is going to hop in and tell us what we're about to go look at. Delaney, set it up for us, please.
We've got a retired general speaking on Veterans Day. This is out of Chicago.
Okay, so we're going to head to Chicago. We're going to listen in to this general. And when we come back, it'll be Kim Murphy, who's going to take over here on the Wisconsin Live Desk. You guys, it's been so fun hanging out the last 2 hours. And Kim's going to have you covered for the last hour. Kim, was this cookie for me?
It was.
Okay,
yes.
Good news, you guys. The cookie was for me.
Yes,
I did
baked
eat it. It was
Good.
delicious.
Good.
Delaney and I want you to teach us how to make it.
Okay, cool.
It's a plan. All right, we leave you with this. Kim's got you covered right after this.
And we're fighting against this depiction of evil at the other end with Al-Qaeda operatives. And I used to take the drawing on the whiteboard and I would curve it up to the top so that two arrows met very close to each other. And I said, the thing is, the best people from SEAL Team 6, from Delta Force, from the Rangers, are almost exactly alike the best people from Al-Qaeda in Iraq. Dedicated, loyal, courageous. They just had a different life journey. And so they arrived at a very predictable place. And I'm honest enough to think that if my life journey had been different, I'd end up in some very different place. So when the matter of perspective comes out, it makes you much more cautious about thinking we're right and they're wrong. Because it's a matter of perspective.
And kind of on that strain, I want to read a quote. I can't remember which chapter this is from, but quote, war we know from history, maybe it's the quote on war. War we know from history rarely solves a problem it was initiated to address. Soon the hostilities begin as blood is shed and friends are killed. The fight reorients itself into a brutal struggle that is more about the fight itself than the original cause. In the aftermath, we rightly question the wisdom of it all. Considering how Afghanistan ended in the aftermath, did you undergo that kind of questioning, the wisdom of it all?
Yeah, you certainly do. I think my personal calculation is the effort in Afghanistan was well-intended, and it was tried to do the right thing, to give the Afghan people the opportunity to have sovereignty for their country. And we didn't do it as well as we could have. And they didn't do it as well as they could have. The Afghan people deserve huge credit for the failure as well. but I don't think it was a misplaced effort. A friend of mine, a retired British officer, wonderful guy, he answers the question slightly differently, but it's compelling to me. When soldiers ask him, "Sir, was it worth it?" He says, "Don't ask yourself that. Ask yourself, did I do my duty? And if I did my duty the best I could, don't feel sad, guilty. Take satisfaction, because that's your responsibility." Other people with policy should and will make big decisions. You do your duty as best you can, and then have no regrets.
And you mentioned that thinking about politics is not something that you did. Talk about it with your peers. But now you have had some time to reflect on our country's politics, because all of this is intertwined. The decisions that we make on the world stage have a lot to do with the politics that we experience here at home. You do offer perspectives in your book on how to fix our country's broken politics. These are pretty, I would say, I think everyone would agree that these are pretty common sense, agreeable ideas. So I was wondering if you could share them with everybody.
Sure. First off is, I am not hugely political, either liberal or conservative. In fact, I'm in the middle on most things, a little on one and a little on another. But I can't stand systems that don't work. Drives me crazy, because the great weakness in places like Iraq, Afghanistan, Pakistan is the systems don't work. And when the system doesn't work, you get a corrupted outcome, no matter how good the people or the resources you put in are. Now, our system was designed, if we look at our Constitution or we read the Federalist Papers, it was designed under the expectation that people are not perfect. It was designed to limit powers. It was designed to have checks and balances. It was designed to have a House of Representatives that is 2-year terms, that's more emotional, that's more connected to the people, and have a more august Senate, which operates more slowly and doesn't have to run for office as much, to balance passions with longer-term wisdom. So it built a lot of mechanisms that have served pretty well. And I would argue what we've done is we've allowed those mechanisms to cease to work as well as we need them to. For example, I think what has happened is people in Congress right now, partly because of the way media covers and they act, they can't compromise because they're punished politically for that. Our primary system almost guarantees that if they compromise, they will be punished and likely removed from office. So they don't. So is that a surprise? So we have to address the primary system, because we will keep getting that result. We'll always be pulled toward extremes on either side. We are about stimulating the vote. 65% of eligible American voters voted in the last presidential election. The two leading candidates both got less than 50% of the vote because there was a third-party candidate, which means that we elected a president with less than half of 65%. So we're down about 31, 32%. I would simply make voting mandatory. Australia does it. Everyone would have to vote. Now, you would have the option to say, I choose nobody. But you wouldn't have the opportunity not to vote. And what that would do is immediately stop voter suppression. It would immediately stop the big stimulant, get people energized to go vote, because you got to vote. I would go after the money in politics in a massive way, because these political figures now have got to spend most of their time raising money, because if you don't, you can't stay in office, which means that you've got to raise this ungodly amount of money time after time, which makes you beholden to special interests. If anybody in here is really rich, I'd like to hang out with you, but you have more political power than the rest of us. We can say, thus has it always been. Yeah, but it shouldn't be that way. You shouldn't have people with disproportionate wealth having disproportionate political influence. I would force Congress to stay in D.C. on weekends. First thing I'd do is I'd have a meeting, I'd have a session at noon on Saturday for 5 minutes that they had to be present for. And I would cut off the pay where they are reimbursed for their travel to go home. They would actually probably appreciate the fact that they could stay. But right now, they don't socialize with each other. They don't ever see each other because Congress is only there from Tuesday through Thursday. You probably know that. They run the country 3 days a week because they have to go home to tend to things so they're not primaried. And I wouldn't let any member of Congress campaign against another member of Congress. And you say, well, that's taking away their freedom of speech. The reason I got this, and I got this from a friend of mine, Joe Manchin, it is based upon the idea, once you've run against a colleague, you're never going to be able to cooperate as well as you did before that. It just creates a dynamic. And so I think there are a number of things that we could do that are focused on the system. Because we get good people going in the system, and I would argue it's really hard to retain the idealism and the values that you have going in and surviving it.
General McChrystal, there's so many questions I still have, but I do think we have time for audience questions, do we not? So I think there will be a mic that comes around. If anyone, just throw your hands up in the air and we'll get the mic to you.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate this, both of you. Do you read any of your peers, advanced former flag officers in the military, either Admiral Stavridis or Admiral McRaven? And who do you like?
I mean, truth be known, I do like them all. Well, Navy guys, it's hard to like, but no.
Good afternoon. You're listening to a retired U.S. Army general speak in Chicago on this Veterans Day on a host of issues, including voter responsibility, civic responsibility, and some of his ideas that everyone should be required to vote. It is an obligation as a U.S. citizen. So, welcome to the third hour of the Wisconsin Live Desk. I am Kim Murphy. We are a little quiet on this Veterans Day, but one big thing that did happen this morning, the Senate did pass a bill to end the government shutdown. And so what this means is that the bill now heads to the House. For this to happen, 8 Democrat senators broke ranks to vote in favor of this bill passing the Senate. There's a division in the Democrat Party right now. Some very upset with those 8 senators who broke with the group to advance this. And we're going to talk a little bit about who did what and why. One of those senators who did vote in favor of sending this bill on to the House and ending the government shutdown was Senator Dick Durbin of Illinois, close to us, of course, and is retiring next year. Was that a factor in the vote? Some say it was. We'll have much more on what happens next, but as of this hour, the government is still shut down. We're going to take a break, check what's happening. I'll tell you what's happening. Kim Murphy just got a package delivered. Woo! Don't you love it when that little bell goes off? All right, we'll be back right after this.
Wisconsin Live Desk.
Hour 3 of the Wisconsin Live Desk on this Veterans Day. It is November 11th. Thank you for stopping in to see what is going on around the country and in our neck of the woods. This morning, significant progress, some say significant progress, has been made towards ending the longest government shutdown in U.S. history. The Senate has now passed the bill that would end the government shutdown, and it would fully fund SNAP benefits. This bill now heads on to the House, and we'll see what happens there. It is expected to have an easier time in the House, as Republicans do have the majority in the House. We'll see what happens, but a lot of things had to happen, namely 8 Democrats had to break ranks with Chuck Schumer and the leadership of the Democrat Party to side with the Republicans who are pushing for the end of the government shutdown. They gave up their demand that the health care ACA tax credit be included in any budget resolution. What they did get in return is that there will be a vote in December. Congress will vote in December on whether to extend the ACA tax credit. Democrats thought that they were making ground. They admit that people are suffering with the loss of food share benefits, federal jobs furloughed, delays at the airport just before the holidays even start, just a lot of pain around the country. But Democrats felt that they had to stand their ground in order to make sure that ACA, the affordable health care, the tax credits that make health care more affordable, were included in the budget resolution. Their fear was that if it was taken up separately, which is now, it looks like it's going to be the case, that those credits are going to end because they will not have the same support, they will not have the same leverage. So we continue to watch what's going on there, but I want to take you to New York, and this was the scene of a Veterans Day parade. The nation is celebrating 250 years. This year marks the 250th anniversary of the U.S. military, celebrating the birth of its 3 senior service branches, the Army, the Marines, and the Navy. And a big parade was held in New York. The parade included nearly 300 marching and vehicle units, 20,000 participants representing every branch of the military in every era since World War II. So the parade is over, so this is just your typical day in New York, but you can see some flags there, and you also see the Christmas lights that are up. Yep, we are in the month of November, so won't be too long before the Radio City Rockettes start their holiday show, and also the lighting of the Rockefeller Christmas tree. So that is pretty awesome. Around here, hasn't it been feeling a whole lot like the holidays? Got really cold. I'm still trying to find my winter coats. I know, like as in buy one, because I grew a little bit over the summer. So let's go to Stephanie Barrichello, who is in the weather office. And Steph, it's still a little bit cold out there, but we are in for a warm-up.
We are. We're getting there. I think we'll really feel it by the end of the week and over the weekend. In fact, Saturday, there's a chance we hit 60 in Milwaukee. So yes, even if it's brief, we do have 50s and maybe even 60s ahead for the remainder of the week. It's very windy outside right now, though, Kim. So that's the real factor to today. Temperatures have struggled a bit because of the cloud cover, which is now starting to move out. So that's some good news. Clearing out for your overnight hours with sunshine then throughout the remainder of the work week. And with more sunshine the next couple of days, the temperatures again will follow suit. They will eventually climb. But as we look at what we have right now across the region, you can see, or start to see at least a little bit, some clearing. And as we look at satellite, there is another batch of thicker cloud cover towards the northwest. So I do still think this is going to move its way through our area into the next 2-3 hours. But then notice everybody out west looking really good. Clear skies. And now we are watching our cloud forecast for tonight because there is a chance we could see the northern lights tonight. It is 100% weather dependent, though. We got to get these clouds out of here. And northern Wisconsin may end up seeing clouds linger a little longer than those of us here in southern parts of the state. So pay attention to the clouds as we hit sunset and shortly after and even into early morning hours because we may get lucky here. And even areas towards the south of us may see the northern lights tonight. We also have the chance tomorrow night, too. There's a big geomagnetic storm that took place. So it always takes a little bit longer for us to actually see the lights after the storm. So that's why we're eyeing tonight as well as tomorrow night. We have someone in the building, Kim, and I know you know who it is, who's very obsessed with the northern lights. So he brought that up in our afternoon meeting, and now I feel the need to talk about it in the forecast. But again, biggest story I think towards the rest of the week is going to be the warm up. We do have a warm front in the vicinity, and you can see just towards the west how much warmer temperatures actually are. So this is just our sign that we're going to see climbing temperatures from here. It is still going to be chilly tonight. Temperatures staying in the 30s, wind chills in the 20s, but then we look at about 50 tomorrow and then continue to climb from there. So if you do have to be out and about the rest of this afternoon, still bundle up. Even once we start to see that sunshine just before sunset, it is deceiving with how strong that wind is. Overnight lows, you'll notice, actually not as bad as the last couple of nights. We're likely going to stay in the 30s, not drop into the 20s like we've seen the last couple of nights. And then look at Wednesday afternoon, a mix of upper 40s, low 50s, and again, that's what's ahead for the rest of the week. Still really eyeing the weekend, number one, for that chance for some 60s on Saturday, but then also for a chance for some light rain, maybe Saturday night. You know, yesterday we were looking at Sunday for that potential. Models are bringing it in a little bit earlier now, but kind of confining it to Saturday night, meaning most of the day Saturday and all of the day Sunday now looking dry. We'll just have to watch those nighttime hours for the chance for some sprinkles and light rain. And that's basically our rain chance here, or precip chance for the next 6 days. Looks like maybe next week we could have a little bit more of that wind tree mix as temperatures begin to drop. Maybe next Tuesday, next Wednesday, but that's still a little far out to talk specifics. But until then, plenty more dry weather. Maybe northern lights tonight. I don't know, a lot of excitement.
Why are we seeing the northern lights so often? It used to be such a rare thing,
Yeah.
and we'd have to travel, you know, and now it's getting closer to the city.
Yeah, I think this is one of the last years of solar maximum. So we go through these phases. I believe it's a 10-year span or something like that. Don't quote me on it, but we are in a solar maximum right now, which is when the sun is more active. We have more of these geomagnetic storms, and that's why it feels like, especially over the last 3-4 years, here in Wisconsin, we've seen the lights so many times. Now, like I said, I do think we're nearing the end of that, so we'll likely enter this span of a couple of years where they're not as prevalent as far south into southern Wisconsin, but we're just, I think, very lucky as of the last couple of years. And we also just know a little bit more about it. We know how to forecast it now, not me specifically. That's a different branch of science. Let me tell you, it is so complex. But I do think we just know what to look out for now, which helps.
It's amazing. I know it's nothing really compared to if you really head north and you're away from the light pollution, but even the little bit that we get to see, it just is awe-inspiring.
It is. And I guess I should say, too, we have these fancy cell phones now, because a lot of times what we see here in southern Wisconsin, we do need a lens to look through. Like you mentioned, up north in northern Wisconsin, you don't need your phone. You can just see how beautiful they are. But I guess we can also acknowledge technology for us being able to see it this far south.
Sometimes it's a good thing. All right, Stephanie Barrichello, thanks so much for joining me.
Yeah, no problem.
See ya on the FOX 6 News at 4. You can never, not that I want to stump Stephanie, but I know she always has the answers. Like, I could just what about this? What about this? So we do have a warm up, so that is some good news. Just hang in there. And let's talk about what else you can do. Wear your camo on this Veterans Day. It's November 11th, hashtag honor U.S. Vets. FOX 6 is once again working with U.S. Vets, and it's Make Camo Your Cause campaign for the 5th straight year to help end veteran homelessness. Nearly 33,000 veterans are experiencing homelessness in the U.S. right now. So FOX 6 is inviting you to join us in donating to U.S. Vets while wearing camo to raise awareness of homeless veterans. And so this is a big thing that we do. We raise funds. Again, this is the 5th year of us doing this. As you're out and about, you may see a military veteran. Thank them for their service, because it is because of their service that we have the freedoms that we have in this country, the security and the peace that we have because of our military and all of our branches of the military. So we're gonna, Delaney, do we know yet what is happening on Router 3? Okay, am I free to go with it? Okay, so let's take you to courts right now and let's listen in to see if we can hear what's going on.
Your Honor, thank you for allowing me to speak. Standing here today is incredibly difficult for me because what happened was not just physical, it changed the way that I move through the world. I am known as AO to the court, but my name is Ashley Anna Ortiz. I was 23 at the time. I'm 24 now. I am
going to dip out of this. Sometimes when we take something that is live, there is a sensitivity to the proceedings that's going on, and this is the case here. Even though our cameras were allowed inside, sometimes there are jury courtroom instructions that the judge may impose, and so I'm not really sure what those are, and so I don't want to betray anyone's confidence. But what is going on is a sexual assault survivor describing her attack. A 17-year-old pled guilty in Milwaukee County Court, and this is the sentencing that we were listening to. Tremonte Kirk, 17 years old, pled guilty to 2 counts of second-degree sexual assault and 1 count of aggravated battery in a Milwaukee County courtroom. And a survivor says that the teen raped her in an apartment elevator. And she is asking the prosecution to push for the maximum sentence. Kirk was tied to the victim by DNA evidence. Delaney, I'm going to have you reach out to our assignment desk to make sure that we're okay to stream this on the live desk, again, because it is a sexual assault trial. We don't want to betray anyone's trust in this. This is new territory for us here on the live desk, because we are able to dip into things live as they're happening. Sometimes that is not the thing to do, that we have to use discretion. So that's what we're going to do right now. In the meantime, we're going to go back to Chicago, where we are listening to a retired general speak about Veterans Day and what it means to serve our country. Let's listen in.
You don't ever want the military in a position where they are saying, to save our democracy, we've got to temporarily take it over. And that's what happens in Pakistan every 20 years. But it is pretty easy for that kind of a mindset to sink in, where you suddenly have one side that says we've got to go outside the Constitution, outside our values to protect it. And very rarely does that have a good outcome. On the other hand, if we are in a position where we think we cannot have a legitimate election, what are the other options? I mean, this is where the American people have got to, in their energy, in their wisdom, in everything they do, they have got to focus on protecting that thing. And it doesn't matter whether they're looking for Republicans or Democrats or somebody else to win it. If we can't rise up and produce a legitimate presidential election in 2028, then I think we will have big problems. I think we can do it, but I don't take anything for granted anymore. And it doesn't just take a few people in D.C., it takes people in rooms like this all over the country to do it. Thanks for the question.
And with that, we will wrap up the Q&A. Paris and E.
Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, General McChrystal. Thank you all. It's an honor to be in here with you. Thank you all for your service. Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
We're back on the Wisconsin Live Desk. Let me give you a shot of what's about to happen. This is a shot of O'Hare Airport. We're expecting U.S. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy to hold a news conference, and we'll take that as soon as it begins. But we know that the nation is experiencing delays all across the country, a ripple effect, because the 40 biggest major airports in the country have reduced service as the government shutdown wears on. And air traffic controllers are working overtime 6 days in a row without pay. And the strain is starting to really take its toll. And so preemptively, last week, the Transportation Secretary announced that there would be this reduction in service. So as soon as the Secretary does begin to speak, we will let you know what is going on. I'm just going to pop back here. Just want to let you know that we did verify that it is okay for us to show you what is going on in the Milwaukee County courtroom. A victim, a 54-year-old woman who was attacked in her apartment elevator by a 17-year-old, is speaking, asking the prosecution to push for the maximum sentence for a 17-year-old who has now been convicted of sexual assaults. He was tied to the crime by DNA. Let's listen in just a little bit now.
Not the decision to no process the case would support that, but that concludes the state's comments.
Thank you. All right, I'll hear from the defense, please.
Your Honor, if it please the court, I'm going to ask Mr. Kirk to address the court first. I'll ask his father to speak, and then I'll make my comments.
Fine. Your Honor, the terrible things I've done cannot be excused. It is difficult to even explain or understand them. To the victims in these cases, all of them, I'm sorry for what I did to you. During the last few months, I have spent time trying to imagine how my crimes impacted your lives, and I can barely comprehend it. The best words I can use to describe my conduct are evil and selfish. I allowed myself to give in to selfish urges without considering how my actions impacted others. I chose actions that I knew were wrong. Knowing how harmful my crimes were, I chose them anyway. I also want to apologize to the state of Wisconsin, to the community, to my family, most importantly to my father and mother, who did not raise me to behave this way. I'm sorry for everything that I've put you through. I know I have a lot of work to do to become a better person, a better man. But I promise that whatever the court puts in place today, I will give my all to use it to improve. I'm sorry for what I've done. Thank you.
And we are following two things that are happening right now. If I could just bring this up on your right, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy is giving a news conference about the delays that are happening across the country. We're going to dip into that, but we thought you'd be more interested, or this is happening locally. You just heard a teen give his sentence or his statement as he expressed remorse for the sexual assault that he has been convicted of, and that is happening on your left. So we are keeping tabs on what is happening with the Transportation Secretary, but we're going to focus here on what is happening in Milwaukee County Court.
Go ahead. There's really nothing that you can say, Your Honor, that can exploit the difficult matters in this case. I can definitely attest and say that I do apologize to the community. I understand the victim doesn't want to hear my sincere apology, or both victims. And I do deeply apologize to both of you. I pray every day for my community, for our world to be a better place, for my son, who I've raised and tried to do my best. I've been in college myself. I've done law enforcement. He has family that is still in law enforcement. We did not raise him this way. We are God-fearing people. And I know the decisions
Prosecutors described the teen as a serial rapist. DNA connected him to the crime that happened of October last year. You're listening to Kirk's father.
He has to learn his lesson. He's done these things. I pray and I would know that I will be there for him no matter what goes on in the present and future. And even for me doing law enforcement myself for an amount of years, you have to serve your time for the things that you do. You have to take ownership, which he is doing, which I have done in my past as well, and even to this day.
This is, court
I will
records
be there
show,
for
the
you.
fourth time that Kirk has
love you,
faced
okay?
sexual assault charges. And prosecutors say that Kirk was on a GPS monitoring unit when he attacked the 54-year-old
Yeah, we are gonna get to
woman
this,
in her
no
apartment
matter what.
building elevator.
Once again, I apologize to you, to the state of Wisconsin, to the Milwaukee County, just to our community all over the world for things that we can't control. To the district attorneys, to the officers, I appreciate everything that you've done. And I respect that just from the background that I've had as well. And that I continue to try to serve the community as much as I can. I never wanted these things to happen. Nobody wants their child to go through this or their family. I never turned my head against anything. I tried to do the best that I can. I went to school for space science and satellite communication. And just like how this world is shielded from letting certain things into our atmosphere, I tried to do the best I could with my sons, the same knowledge. He has layers in his life that he's been through and traumas, same as I have. I can't say that I've experienced those things, but I have been molested myself as a child. I had to take full responsibility to take care of my child as well as his mother. We can't take back the things that have happened, but only hope for the future that things will go forward and that he will learn his lesson, be able to return to the community, Lord willing that I'm still living, and prove to you all that he can do better, as I have done when I went to the juvenile system myself and became a police officer, and now continuing to try to become a firefighter in multiple different talents.
Tremonte Kirk, 17 years old, pled guilty to 2 counts of second-degree sexual assault and 1 count of aggravated battery in Milwaukee County. The survivor, who was raped in her apartment elevator, wanted to appear in court at the sentencing and share the impact of what this crime has had on her life.
Forever. And I'm always going to be here.
And you're listening to his father now.
Thank you. Go ahead, counsel.
Thank you, Judge. Your Honor, we're recommending a term of prison, total of 25 years, bifurcated 10 initial confinement, and 15 of extended supervision. In looking at the primary factors that the court has to consider, the character of the defendant, the nature of the offense, the need to protect the public, there's obviously no dispute that this is an incredibly serious offense. This offense was dangerous, it was deeply harmful, as the court has seen, it was willful. And I concur with the district attorney that the randomness of these offenses does cause good people to shudder, because there's no way that people feel able to protect yourself from that kind of randomness. It was deeply harmful, it was deeply frightening. There's no doubt about that. So much so that it is hard to believe that we were talking about the actions of a 16-year-old, a child at the time, that these were committed by a child. When you look at Tremonte's history, when you look at his offenses, even when you look at his physical stature, there is nothing that jumps off the page that would serve as a reminder that we're sentencing someone for an act committed as a child, but we are. That reality forces us to confront what we do with offenses that, as properly detailed today, are at the high end of the severity spectrum, with a defendant who is at the low end of that spectrum of age. The importance of his age, the reality that he was a child when he committed these offenses, is important to our analysis, both of his character, for the protection of the public, and how it plays into the decision chain that goes into a terrible offense like this. Mr. Tufford was right in talking about the development of a child's mind, the prefrontal cortex, the executive functioning that we hear academics talk about all the time in juvenile court and in this court. The common sense application of that evolving child mindset, as I've come to understand it, is that even when children are aware of a danger or a harm, even when they know about its existence, they fall short at times in appreciating that danger or that harm. Where I disagree with ADA Tufford a bit is the idea that that mindset, that shortcoming, only plays into account in situations involving minor mischief or minor offenses. It has a role that it plays in major wrongdoings, major crimes, major violations, like the ones that we see here today. We know that, which is why as a group, statistically, that group is much more likely to do reckless, dangerous, harmful, and oftentimes, as in this case, self-destructive things as well. That is not an excuse, it's not a justification, and it is not proffered as a defense for what Tremonte did. We're talking about children on average as a group. And this individual individually committed these terrible offenses. We are not shying away from that.
We're following two things that are happening, and to your left, Milwaukee County, we are listening to the attorney defense argue for a more lenient sentence for Tremonte Kirk, 17 years old, pled guilty to 2 counts of sexual assault. On the right, your Secretary of Transportation, Sean Duffy. Let's just listen just very quickly just to find out the update on what's happening with the airports.
Right, when you have that, that's a sign of more risk in the system, which was one of the factors we looked at when we made this decision. Listen, you can walk outside, I can't guarantee your safety. You get in your car, I can't guarantee safety, but I have to look at the risk in this system, and then we have to make decisions based on that risk and based on that pressure. And that's what we've done here. And again, it's been a lot of conversations, a lot of analysis, and making the best decisions we can possible with the information we have, the controllers we have. But to be clear, we are concerned about people having flights delayed and having their flights canceled. That's a problem. But that is a secondary problem to safety.
All right, let's go back to Milwaukee County.
Push a case to trial in the hope that witnesses stop cooperating, stop showing up, that the case goes bad or gets old and stale, and that they can, by prolonging it and prolonging pain, perhaps work out a better deal for themselves. Specifically in Tremonte's case, the multiplicity motion that ADA Tufford mentioned, you can raise that pre-trial, and we did. But you can also raise it based on how the testimony comes out at trial. And you can say based on the testimony, it's still up to the court, it's not a jury question. We are now re-raising it at the close of the state's case or at the close of evidence. Again, a decision that he could have pushed in the hopes of working out something better for himself. Again, that brinksmanship is common in the court system and causes a lot of people a lot of problems. When people have the understanding, they're not giving me much of anything in this offer. Very often, the advice that they get from the older and perhaps more jaded individuals that they're with is roll the dice, see what you get. He didn't do that, and he does deserve credit for it. Owning up to what he did should be taken into consideration. Again, discussing the context of Tremonte and his offenses. He was initially charged, as Mr. Tufford noted, in juvenile court. He was removed from that system through the waiver process. That system designed for children, which was initially considering these crimes committed during the course of childhood, is one where we pay close attention to a child's mind versus an adult's mind. We take into account the fact that they are going to be different, far different than they are today in 10 years and in 20 years. Because unlike adults, they're not fully developed as we assess accountability for their actions. They're not fully developed in terms of who they're going to be when they grow up. And we take that into consideration when we fashion some sort of a response that includes incarceration, that includes treatment, and that includes
Following two stories that are happening at once right now at 3 o'clock, let's listen in a little bit more to Sean Duffy, respond to the reduction in service. This is important. A lot of folks are traveling for the holidays. Thanksgiving is about 2 weeks away.
We've kept paying the students at the academy a stipend to make sure the academy is still operational. We've done all those things, but we've seen that young people have been less willing to be air traffic controllers when they see they may not be paid. That's a problem. But the second part of what we've done is we have air traffic controllers who can retire after 25 years of service. I've asked them, they're the most experienced in the airspace. I said, would you please stay on? Please don't retire. I'll give you a 20% upfront cash bonus if you don't retire and you stay on the job. And what we've seen in the course of this shutdown is a far greater majority of those controllers that I thought were going to stay are now retiring. So it makes my problem more difficult, it's more challenging, but we are going to get the academy fully operational to get as many controllers into the airspace as possible to make up that differential.
Concurrently is appropriate in this case. It's important to note that we are dealing with two crimes. They were charged separately.
We're trying to stay on top of two stories that are happening right now. Department of Transportation speaking on what is happening at the nation's airports ahead of a very busy travel season that starts off the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. And on the left, you're listening to the sentencing of a 17-year-old who pled guilty to sexual assault.
Represents a significant level of accountability, obviously. It's a significant response from the system, and it is properly measured and tailored to simply reflect the reality that whatever court we're in, we are dealing with the crimes that were committed by a child. Thank you.
You can see the judge there, David Borowski, presiding over this trial and now the sentencing, digesting information from both the defense, arguing that he was 16 years old when he committed these crimes, the prosecution arguing that he is charged with 2 counts of second-degree sexual assault, 1 aggravated count of battery, and was on a GPS monitoring system when one of the rapes was committed. Prosecution is asking for 25 years. 10 of that, I believe, adjudicated. Don't hold me to that, but let's listen in.
Candidly, even as someone who's been on the bench for more than 2 decades, there are cases where it's hard to know where to start. And this is one of those cases. In terms of the behavior, Mr. Kirk, that you engaged in, this is as aggravated and depraved and sadistic and evil as it gets. You engaged in monstrous conduct that would lead the average person to believe and think that you are an absolute monster, that your parents raised a monster, not a 16-year-old who made mistakes. This is not an auto theft or fleeing or garage burglary. Not that I'm justifying any of those, but the average person would want to know how your parents raised a monster that could even think of these things, let alone engage in them. It's monstrous behavior, evil behavior. You yourself said that, but I'm not going to sugarcoat it. In terms of behavior, this is as bad as it gets. And I understand both victims. Being upset. And both victims, particularly, well, both victims, but particularly Charlotte, being candidly pissed off at the system and the people at Lincoln Hills that failed, and the people in Children's Court that failed, and the people that allegedly gave you therapy and released you into the system or out of the system into society that failed. This behavior, again, is shocking. And for the community and for the record, it cannot be understated. It's almost impossible to describe. I read the complaint, I read the pre-sentence investigation. And I would venture, Mr. Kirk, that even for people that see these kinds of things, like myself and Mr. Tufford and detectives and police officers that work in sensitive crimes, this is stomach-turning behavior. And yes, I blame your parents. Absolutely. No one turns into someone who engages in repeated serial sexual assaults as a teenager without a disjointed, dysfunctional, so-called upbringing. This doesn't happen, but what people say to me and things like this is, Judge, why aren't their parents arrested? Why aren't the parents going to prison? Why aren't they charged with contributing to delinquency of a minor? I don't know the answer to those questions, but that's what the average person thinks, Mr. Kirk. What Mr. Tufford said is correct, and I'm confident Mr. Rafael would agree with this. You know, the juvenile system in Wisconsin was designed in the 60s and 70s. It was designed to deal with thefts and burglaries and people stealing bikes and misdemeanors and low-level felonies. It was not designed for dealing with these types of cases. even for me, Mr. Kirk, and I've sentenced thousands of people, thousands, this is shockingly horrible behavior. And your record, Mr. Kirk, is horrible. If you were 40 years old, it'd be a horrible record. But you're 17. This occurred when you were 16. Obviously, both sides discussed the nature of the offense. Right now, I'm referring to the what I'll characterize as the main offense to which Mr. Kirk pled guilty, and not the additional charge that was uncharged but read in and discussed today and previously. First of all, this kind of thing should not happen anywhere in Milwaukee County. It shouldn't happen in a civilized society. It shouldn't happen anywhere. But Mr. Tuffer's correct. This happened in an area that's blocks from Marquette University, blocks from Marquette High School, near the Ambassador Hotel, near the Eagles Club that has all kinds of concerts and entertainment. The victim, it could have been anybody. And yes, Mr. Kirk, you deserve credit for pleading guilty. And for both victims, you know, please understand that nothing I do today changes the situation. Nothing I do fixes the situation. It doesn't make any of the pain go away. It doesn't make the trauma go away. But as I read the PSI, Mr. Kirk, both sides discussed the offense, discussed your statements, how this occurred. There were a couple lines that stood out to me. One, that Charlotte indicated that as you were assaulting her, you said, and I quote, "Let me do what I'm going to do and you'll make it out alive." Bitch, don't you know this is Milwaukee? I'll kill you. I'll fucking kill you. And that is a threat in this community that the average person would believe. I understand that threat, and I think the victim understood it too. That in other words, the threat that this is Milwaukee. So succumb to a rape and a sexual assault so I literally don't kill you. This is Milwaukee. One of the other things that stood out is in the pre-sentence investigation, and you know, I try to guard against this, but when you do a job like this and you see horrible things, horrible behaviors, in my case, in this calendar, the other judges that hear these kinds of cases, homicides, sexual assaults, child pornography, it's a bit like being an emergency room doctor and seeing gunshot wounds and stabbings and people bleeding out and people dying in front of you. So you have to try to not lose it yourself. And I try to guard against this, but I'm sure this applies to someone like the PSI writer from the Department of Corrections. You at times might, and I try to guard against this, might become numb to seeing the just atrocious behavior, the sickening, vile atrocities that occur here in Milwaukee and occurred in this case. And I'm trying to find the exact quote because I want to read it, but the PSI writer was concerned about the defendant in many levels. I'm trying to find it, I can't find it, but basically the exact quote was something to the effect of, even for the writer of the pre-sentence investigation, I can't find it, but she said she found your behavior in this entire case chilling. I agree with that, it's chilling.
You've been listening as the judge, David Borowski, is determining the sentence for 17-year-old
Looking at a fair and
Tremonte
appropriate
Kirk,
sentence, as both sides know.
convicted of
Need to look at the
raping
gravity of the
2
offense,
women. Prior to
the
that,
defendant's character,
he
the need
was
to protect the public,
serving time
along
in
with things like
juvenile
punishment and deterrence.
was convicted as a juvenile for assaulting 5 women.
Both of these cases were aggravated.
We will
Both
have
victims were
the sentence on
vulnerable.
Fox 6 News at 4. We want to leave you with a little different. Taking you to O'Hare Airport on the final minutes of the Wisconsin Live Desk. Sean Duffy just spoke, talking about the delays because of air traffic controllers, being the shortage, the mandated flight reductions, the FAA saying it's doing all that it can to reduce the headaches for travelers, but well aware that we are approaching the holiday travel season. Thanksgiving is just a couple days away. We thank you for joining us on the Wisconsin Live Desk for this Tuesday afternoon. Again, please join us for Fox 6 News at 4.
Different kind of clarity, different kind of conviction. You got to call things out. You can't play by the old set of rules when it